For tonight's Facebook record sale. If you're on and watching, welcome. Say hi in the comments. We're about 5 minutes late getting started. You can blame that on Warrant Cherry Pie. You can blame that on Warrant. I just keyed in all the pre-orders. Let me get this posted on our Instagram story. I'm waiting for the Facebook notification that we're live on YouTube. There we are. Share, copy link. Let me get this posted in this. Clear that out. Clear that out. I don't want to make a post. I don't want to make a post. I want to make a story. So when you're on, say hi. Got this kind of shared everywhere right now. What? How did that just happen? Okay, I hit cancel. Alright, do that. Your story. Alright, now let me get shared in the group. Do this, knock these out right quick. Lots of hellos. Keep saying hello. I love that. I want y'all to say hello as much as possible. I'll go ahead and I'm going to try to get some vintage brought out, but I will say tonight is a pretty new vinyl heavy. So Wayne Titsworth, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and break your heart. Tonight is heavy and new vinyl. I do have OG stuff to auction, and we will be showing OG records, but this show will lean probably 70% new vinyl, 30% vintage. I'll try my best to keep it balanced out. I usually like a 50-50 show. That's called hitting the middle. That's what they like to do in Vegas, hit the middle on those lines. They want 50% of the money on Pittsburgh, and they want 50% of the money on the Packers. Everybody wins. There'll be some losers, but try to keep it balanced. Live and loud. I love it loud. That's a Kiss song I was listening to today. All right, let me get Restream pulled up. Should be a big show. As much as I've posted that the kind of fantastic stuff we're going to have tonight, it should be. So, speaking of bets, Craig says they're taking bets on how much I can read off or how long it's going to take me to read off the Warrant Cherry Pie wait list. Well, I do have an announcement on that. All the Warrant Cherry Pies are in. I will show them officially in 1 second, so just hold your comments. Hold your comments, but I do have 3 entire lists for Cherry Pie. So, hold your comments for those. I'll show them. I've got plenty. I thought ordering this many would be plenty. It has been, but also we could be running out by the end of the show, and I hope that my shipment from another distributor comes in. Let me grab a crate of new vinyl over here. I'm going to have to walk around y'all or through y'all, one of the two. Excuse me. Walk by Josh and Tanner here. I've pulled all the pre-orders. Let me figure out what crate is first here. I think it was this one on the very, of course, it's on the very bottom. Well, I'll just grab this. Let me see what this one is. I want to do these first two, I think. Yeah. Let me grab this one. I'll walk around this way. I'll grab a Warrant so I can show it. And we got 4 entire crates full of them. All right, let me get over here. And so if you missed what I said earlier, I said this was going to be a heavy show of new vinyl. I'm going to try my best to keep it balanced, but usually Thursdays we're heavy on the new vinyl, but tonight what's happened is there's a lot of stuff that didn't come in till today because of these huge shipments we've got. UPS kind of split up some shipments. So I'm going to start showing vinyl. I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 crates of new vinyl, maybe 2. I'll do 2 to start the show, and then we've got all these auctions. I've also got most of the stuff behind the counter, so I'm going to have to be making some trips. I've also promised some new vinyl on sale, and I'll do some vintage on sale. If we're showing anything vintage tonight, it's not going to be new vintage except for our auctions. It's going to be stuff maybe from like back in July, but it will be on sale. It'll be like one of those buy it now, best offer type crates. So let's start showing records. I can get Record Store Day Essentials. I'm not a Record Store Day dealer, but they do allow me to have Record Store Day Essentials, and this is a really cool one. It's the Zombies, Odyssey, and Oracle. A really tough original album to find in good condition. A true first press with this original cover. $31.99, of course, has Time of the Season on it. This is on a really like psychedelic swirl type colored vinyl. I have one copy, $31.99. That's the Zombies, Odyssey, and Oracle. That is a Record Store Day essential. Greta Van Fleet, I have copies to sell. If you don't have one of these already, I always tell everybody, if you can grab a Greta Van Fleet record in 2021 for an affordable price, you need to, because that is, some of their records are so expensive. Before this was printed, I mean, they're supposed to be, in my opinion, between $25 and $35 and $45 maybe for that new one and this one. But some of them, the indie exclusives, are way up there. So, From the Fires, $36.99. I did have a waiting list for that. Fred Wink. Let's see here. Yeah, Fred Wink and Eric Beck. Fred Wink and Eric Beck on that. I had 3 of those already pulled. Fred Wink and Eric Beck. Ed Nelson wants the Zombies. Ed Nelson wants the Zombies. Are you still showing? Yes. As soon as I get through the new vinyl, at least once, we will start on sale. I've got to go back there and get it out of our stock room, but I've got to get it. We started showing the Savannah stuff last night. We've got about 4 crates of it left that we will have ready maybe for tomorrow. And we got some of the auctions we're doing tonight. Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets. That's the mono mix, $31.99. Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets. This is another Record Store Day essential. This is a 50th anniversary edition of Lou Reed's Transformer on white vinyl. That has his hit song, Walk on the Wild Side. Vicious is a good track too. Sad Light of Love. Great album. If you don't have that, that's a collection essential. Lou Reed, Transformer, $31.99. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Acoustics. This is a Record Store Day exclusive. I'm also getting some Record Store Day stuff, surprisingly. This is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts' first ever recordings, acoustic recordings, $28.99. I have one of those. Joe Valentine takes the Lou Reed. Anything that we have one copy of and we sell out of, just let me know if you want one, and there's a good chance if I've only ordered one, then I can get more. They won't be in them for this week, but we will get them. Wasp, the best of the best. We had one of these Tuesday night, I think. It's a 2 LP, usually pretty tough to get. Has all their hits. Animal. F Like a Beast. Usually people's asking if that song is on their compilations. $46.99. Wasp, the best of the best. That's $46.99. George Buchanan wants the Joan Jett. Sell that to George Buchanan. And this is a big restock. If I don't sell out of this, I will say it, I will be shocked. No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom, and this is the colored vinyl. I don't know what color. It may be a randomized thing. They did that last time with these. It was like 3 colors randomized. This is No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, $36.99. There was a waiting list for this from almost over a year and a half ago. Justin Nethers, which I hadn't seen his name in a while, and Eric Self. Eric, if you're watching, I didn't put them down because it'd been so long ago, and Justin hadn't bought from us in a long time. But if either one of those 2 people are watching and you want one, you've got first dibs. Other than that, these are probably going to sell out pretty fast. Let me go through the list. First, Tanner, we got Paul Brothers wants on the Lou Reed Transformer and Joan Jett waiting list. Let me show those one more time since we now have a waiting list. I only had 1 copies of these, if anybody wants on the waiting list. Joan Jett, $28.99. Lou Reed, $31.99. And we have the Zombies, Odyssey, and Oracle. That is $31.99. Those were only records I had 1 of. They're all Record Store Day or Record Store Day Essentials. But I can get more if you want on those waiting lists. Now, the No Doubt. We have, let's go through those. Don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure this was approaching a $100 record before they pressed them again. So, Chuck Wilson. Next on my list is Joe Valentine. We have Kevin Huffman. I'm going to call them out till I run out. Cameron Nance, Tracy Miller, Tom Steyer, George Buchanan, Bubby Mercer, Zachary Smith. Now, I have more. It's not one of those deals where they're all gone and I can't get any for like another month. I think I've already got 5 more and 3 more on the way from different distributors and different shipments. And I definitely need to back order another 15 or 20. So I ran out at Zachary Smith. That leaves Brent Rabley. If you're okay with the waiting list, those are for sure on the way. And then if anybody else, it looks like I've got another 8 for sure on the way. No Doubt Tragic Kingdom. No Doubt Tragic Kingdom. $36.99. That is on color vinyl. So those are all sold. Tanner through Zachary Smith. Brent Rabley's on the waiting list. Where's the on sale stuff? It's coming later. You're welcome, Kevin. Ron Phillips on the Zombies waiting list. We didn't have a waiting list for that, but we do now. Ron Phillips. That's Odyssey and Oracle Record Store Day. Darwin Kangan. Let me get back to my other feed here. Yeah, Darwin. It looks like he wants a Wasp Best of the Best. Darwin, have you bought from us before? I don't think you have. If you have, thank you. And you know the drill. If you haven't bought from us before, let me know and I'll go ahead and give you some instructions. So sell that to Darwin. Looks like it's Cagnan. I think I'm saying that right. Scott Smith also wants on that No Doubt waiting list. Brent Rabley's mad because he didn't get one. Or we'll say frustrated. What color vinyl? I think it's random. If somebody wants me to peek at one, they're not actually sealed. I'll try to do it very carefully. This one's on yellow. Let's see if another one's on yellow. These don't come sealed, so you can peek at them pretty easily. The last time they did this, it was random. This one's yellow too. So I've done 2 and they're yellow, so we're going to say that they're yellow vinyl. They could be random and we just got a big batch of yellow, but they look like they're on yellow vinyl. So Darwin, please send us a message to CollectCo, a Facebook message here on this page. We do all of our invoicing through Facebook Messenger, unless you're a YouTube watcher and you don't have Facebook, then we do it through email. But send us a Facebook message and say, hi, I'm a first-time buyer. Here's my mailing address and here's my email address. We will invoice you on Monday. We send out invoices on a weekly cycle on Monday, $7 unlimited shipping. So you can watch for the rest of the night and add to your order. They all ship for $7. Susie wants on the No Doubt waiting list, and so does Paul Brothers. Pussifer, Money Shot, Your Reload, that is $31.99. Pussifer, Money Shot, Your Reload is $31.99. And I got another huge restock of Dave Matthews Band Crash. I had these back ordered. If y'all wasn't aware, this was another like approaching $100 LP on Discogs and eBay before they decided to press some more. So I had them back ordered with a lot of different people. They're $38.99. 20th anniversary remaster by Chris Bellman and Bernie Grunman. Gatefold has a booklet with it. 180 gram vinyl. Once again, if you don't have this and you're on the fence, you might want to grab them before they're all gone. If they're still pricey online, I may start putting some of mine on there. They might bring $50 or $60 on eBay. William Simmons wants Pussifer. And one more time, not much left in that crate. We've got Greta Van Fleet, $36.99. Greta Van Fleet, $36.99. Yeah, there was a waiting list for Dave Matthews Band. Of course, we had some come in already earlier this week. Yeah, we will make sure Cameron Nance has one. But we had some come in a couple times already this week, so we may have actually already pulled those and read them off. Cameron Nance, you've already got one. George Buchanan, I'll pull one for you. Oh, if I can grab a hold on. These are like really nice tip-on jackets too. That's a really good pressing, I can tell. And did the labels for all 3. Did the labels for all the 3. He may have to resend that. And then the only other record left in here is Pink Floyd, Saucer Full of Secrets. That's the mono mix, remastered, and Arm Lizelle wants that one. So that crate is just left with GVF, Greta Van Fleet, and DMB, Dave Matthews Band. That's the only 2 things left in there. That's stuff I need for the store anyway, for Saturday shoppers, and that's going to be flooding the stores the next couple days. Can I get another crate of new vinyl? I think it was. I'll get it because there's a certain one I want to. The pre-sold I think is in that red one. I'll show it in just a second. Let me grab this though. All right, and I do need that teal-looking crate right behind my golf clubs. That's our auction stuff. That is critical. Some people waiting for auctions for sure. Ron Phillips says he doesn't need on the zombies wait list. We can put that auction crate right here. Yep. Okay. I think this actually has some new releases in it. First, though, King Kong. I've never sold a record to King Kong before. If you don't care to let us know your actual name you want this invoiced under, we will tag you for that, and we will share with you our email address. If you're a first-time watcher on YouTube, you have to email us so we have your email so we can send you an invoice on Monday. So if there's anybody watching new for the first time on YouTube, that's the drill. Same thing for you, King Kong. And we'll send you an invoice. But please let us know your actual name so we'll know what to expect when we tag it so we can go ahead and key it in our system. Dazed and Confused soundtrack. I have 2 left on purple vinyl. They're $38.99. Dazed and Confused. Okay, this is new arrivals here. Some new restocks as well, such as the Cult Electric Piece. I have more available. I have 3 copies, $36.99. I think there was a couple people waiting on this. The Cult Electric. Vernon Lehman and Preston Rogers. Vernon Lehman and Preston Rogers. I've got 3 left to sell. The Cult Electric Piece, multi-platinum album. These come and go, and I'm just glad to have 3 in my possession. Those are $36.99. Preston Rogers, I've already got you down for 1. George Buchanan says he'll take 1. I've got 2 left in that bin. And, Ray Charles, The Spirit of Christmas. I've probably promoted this record just about as much as anything else this year. That's Ray Charles. I think I already brought... One of those crates had a Warrant... What happened to Warrant Cherry Pie? I thought I put it in one of those crates I brought over here. Oh, is this it? No, that's the one... Okay, that's it. Okay. So, Pete Weisgarber on Ray Charles. So, let me explain this again for anybody watching new. This album, pretty desirable Christmas album. It was pressed originally in 1985. Very low production. I think it may have been a club pressing only. The waiting list for this was Lily McCurry, Guy Goodman, Britton Sharp, and Dakota Wilkie. Lily McCurry, Guy Goodman, Britton Sharp, and Dakota Wilkie. Before that, we'd pre-sold over 50 of them, and they're $28.99. Originals were $100 range, not cheap. And what I like about it, probably my favorite Christmas movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the very sentimental scene where he's up in the attic watching the old films from his childhood right before he falls through the ceiling on the staircase. That song that's playing in the background, The Spirit of Christmas, that's Ray Charles. It's one of my favorites. That's on this album. The only way you can get it on vinyl. And until this release, originals were pricey, and they're actually pretty hard to come by. If you can actually find one listed that's a nice shape where you can just get on and buy it, then you've done good. Guy Goodman also wants one. Rich Recor wants one. So I'm approaching selling almost 75 of them. Here's what I have left. Ray Charles, The Spirit of Christmas, $28.99. New restock from George Strait. That's Pure Country. 25th anniversary, limited edition. One of the best-selling country soundtracks of all time. George Strait, Pure Country, $34.99. That's another record that gets pricey after they all go out of stock. Elf soundtrack, $29.99. Elf soundtrack. Kelly Deck says, I'll take a Dazed and Confused. Sell that to Kelly Deck. Susie Breedlove wants a Ray Charles. King Kong, I hope you're still on and watching. Please let us know before we actually tag this record that you heard what I said about emailing us. You don't have to do it right now, but please try to do it as soon as possible. Gabe wants a George Strait. I have 2 of those left, the Pure Country soundtrack. Let's see. Chris DeMoss wants a Ray Charles. Found an OG at a local store. Yeah, they're usually We've had 3. Doug got a great deal on one. We had one accidentally slip through in one of our vintage crates last night. That's Chris DeMoss's. And I kept one, and then I think we auctioned one on here one night for almost $150. So Elf is $29.99. I got a restock of Fog Hat, Full for the City. By the way, this is analog, $64.99, 2LP, MoFi pressing, limited and numbered on the back. I'm going to finally keep one of those unless we sell out of it again. Power Man 5000, a restock of that. That is Coke bottle clear with yellow streaks vinyl. That is $38.99. Brianne Denny Meadows says she'll take the last two George Straits. David Williams, I'm getting in a hurry because I got so much to do tonight. Ray Charles is $28.99, The Spirit of Christmas. The Bourne Identity soundtrack. This is actually a, quote, new release, which I've seen it before, but I guess they've redone it on a new SKU or something. $33.99 for that. Fog Hat is $64.99. $64.99 for Fog Hat. The Omen soundtrack. This is on red vinyl. Blood red with black splatter. That's a new release. Motion picture soundtrack to The Omen. That is $33.99. Megadeth 13, $38.99. That's a 2LP restock of that. The new Elvis movie. This is the official soundtrack to it. Elvis original motion picture soundtrack featuring Elvis, Doja Cat, Casey Musgraves, Eminem, Stevie Nicks. $33.99. Jack White, Tame Impala. That's a gatefold single LP. Yeah, it feels like a single LP. $33.99. That is the new Elvis movie soundtrack. Dwayne Sevilla on The Bourne. I'm a fan of the Bourne movies. As you can imagine, I'm a James Bond junkie. So any kind of spy or movie like that, this is like my childhood. So I've got a couple of those. Dwayne gets The Bourne. New Elvis soundtrack. They have actually reissued Asia. It's weird. It kind of just popped up as a pre-order. There's no mastering information. There's nothing. But this is a new release. It's the first time I've seen a new pressing of Asia, self-titled, I think ever. But they didn't really. There was no image or anything. It just said Asia, Asia. And I was like, yeah, I'll order one just to see what it looks like. But that's a new sealed Asia. $28.99 on that. George Buchanan needs to put back Electric Peace. He already got one. And let's see. Yes, the Don't Say No, the Billy Squier is fantastic. I agree. U2, Zeropa? Zeropa or Zeropa? Zeropa. I don't know. I've been saying it both ways, and no one has really corrected me, so I don't think anybody else knows either. 2LP, $38.99. Is the Omen score or soundtrack? That's a good question. This is the original motion picture soundtrack, which is music by Jerry Goldsmith. So it's score music. Yeah, it's all score music. That is score music. Ropa. Zeropa. Zeropa. Okay, Zeropa. Thank you, Craig and Dale. This is also a new soundtrack, The Bodyguard, which is has Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, I Have Nothing. It's essentially a Whitney Houston soundtrack. Was she in the movie as well? I think so, maybe, with Kevin Costner. $29.99, The Bodyguard. So she was acting and singing. Is that right in that one? New Whitney Houston. That's a new release date for today. Celine Dion, Let's Talk About Love. $36.99, 2LP orange vinyl, limited edition. I think this has the Titanic. What's that called? I'm not for sure. I thought it was on here. There it is, yeah. My Heart Will Go On, love theme from Titanic. $36.99. Celine Dion. New release from Ian Anderson, plays the orchestral Jethro Tull, $39.99. That should be on 2LP set cut using direct metal mastering. I thought it was on red vinyl, but it doesn't say that. Allman Brothers Band, live from A&R Studios, New York, 1971. That is on pink vinyl, $31.99. This is a Dolly Christmas album. It's actually a new release from a few weeks ago, but it's the first time it had ever been pressed on vinyl. Originals are very expensive. This is more like a vintage Christmas album of hers from the 90s, if you consider the 90s vintage, which Technically it is now. And After the Fire, this is a new reissue of After the Fire, Der Kommissar. That is on red vinyl for sure, $26.99. Paul Brothers wants Celine Dion and the Bodyguard soundtrack. That's sold to Paul Brothers. That's sold to Paul Brothers. Kelly McDonald, I only ordered one of these. So if you're okay with it, we're going to put you on a waiting list, and I will have you another one of those for next week. Jethro will have a new LP out next year. That's what I've heard. Ed Nelson wants a Cult. Was that an electric piece? We can just give him George Buchanan's if you want to do that, Tanner. Okay. So Ed, we're going to give you one that was just put back. So I've got you a Cult. Jerry Stone wants After the Fire. Preston Rogers wants Squire. I don't have those in stock anymore. The Billy Squire, I don't think I do. I will check, Preston. If you're wanting a Billy Squire, don't say no. And Mike Massey, I only ordered one After the Fire, if you're okay with a waiting list on that. Josh Fry wants the Elvis soundtrack. And let's go through that crate one more time. And then I'm going to get some marquee auction started. Let me go ahead and crack my knuckles. We've got left in this crate 2 copies of the Cult Electric Piece. You may not be familiar with that cover. It's not really like what the original looks like, I reckon. Somebody explained that to me the other day. But I've got 2 left, $36.99. Plenty of Ray Charles, The Spirit of Christmas. Grab these while you can. It's almost December. These things will not be around, and then they won't press them again until the first of the year. And you'll be at your Christmas party wishing you could play that for people. Elf, $29.99. I've still got all 3 of those. Foghat, Full for the City. That is I think 2 LP. 45 RPM, it should be. All analog on that one. That's straight from the master tape. $64.99. Chad, give Kelly my Bodyguard, and I'll take the wait list. So give Paul Brothers just that one record. I forgot what that was. The other one he got, and then go ahead and give Kelly the Bodyguard. Mike Massey says he does not need to be on the wait list for After the Fire. He already has it. Kyle Gregory wants Ray Charles. They're $28.99. Alice Lowry wants one. It's been our for sure. This now holds the title for our best-selling Christmas album. It surpassed everything else. Power Man 5000, first time on vinyl, $38.99. Megadeth, $38.99. Tawana Bennett also wants a Ray Charles, The Spirit of Christmas. And by the way, it's literally a sales pitch, but that's true about Christmas albums. I mean, they're not pressing these things probably right now. It's November. They're trying to get out lots of other titles. Ray Charles is $28.99. So when there's like a schedule, these pressing plants take this stuff out well in advance. They were probably making these, maybe a month or 2 ago to get them out before Christmas. So now, if they do press another batch and all the distributors are out, it could be next month. No Doubt was $36.99. Megadeth, I've got 2 of those still surprisingly left. The Elvis soundtrack is $33.99. Asia's $28.99. U2 is $38.99. The Omen is $33.99. Celine Dion is $36.99. Ian Anderson is $39.99. We've got Allman Brothers, $31.99. And Dolly Parton, Home for Christmas, $29.99. Dolly Parton, Home for Christmas. And like I said, that is an album she had out in the 90s that was just reissued on vinyl. Okay, let's do a Rush and a Kiss. That sounds good, doesn't it? Let's see. Rush and a Kiss. So let's take a look at these. I've got an OG copy of Rush Permanent Waves. This is some of that stuff I didn't get to last night. I've ultrasonically cleaned this. It is exceptionally nice. EX Plus. Almost near mint minus, I would say. Just very little imperfections. It's got the original inner sleeve. Permanent Waves. Spirit of the Radio, Free Will, Jacob's Ladder. Fantastic album. If you're a Rush fan, you know it. This is a $25 start. Rush, Permanent Waves, $25 start on that. Really clean copy, gatefold, of course. And I have an OG Kiss Rock and Roll Over. Well, let me put it this way. It's a vintage copy. I really hadn't mastered these exact pressings yet on these Kiss records. This thing has one cosmetic flaw to it that doesn't affect. It's got a scuff that runs almost like a tangent right here. Other than that, super clean vinyl. Side 2 here, side B, not a mark on it. This, really nice cover too. One little marking up here in ink. Original inner sleeve. No stickers that I reckon it originally came with. That is a $25 start on that. Kiss Rock and Roll Over. That's a $25 start. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any other comments. Let's do a Roll the Bones. I wish I had one. I would gladly auction it. Josh Fry said RC. That was for Ray Charles. I'm down to 5 copies again. And I just ordered 25 more, so we've sold quite a few tonight. Ray Charles is sold to Josh Fry. We had Rush 25, 25, 25, 30, 30, 35, 35, 35, 28, 40, 37, 30, Rush 50. So we have a Rush Permanent Waves up for auction and a Kiss Rock and Roll Over. We're going to be doing some on sale new vinyl in just a second. We've got to go through all of the that's not for sale yet. Let me set that off to the side. Don't want to get everybody freaked out. Of course, I got plenty, but when did I put these out? Let's see. 11. Trying to find some stuff. If I go through any vintage tonight, it's not going to be new. But what I'll do is make it buy it now or best offer. I'm trying to find a crate maybe we hadn't been through in a while. This one looks pretty good, where you can buy it now, best offer. And as y'all know, the buy it now, best offer stuff has been doing great because I've been cutting deals. Pretty much unadvertised Black Friday sales. I mean, we've been discounting stuff pretty regularly on here, 20, 25% off. I've been doing some 50% off. So just depends on what the record is, how many titles we have, how long we've had it. So I want to keep the show balanced. We pretty much could do new vinyl for the next 5 hours and probably not show it all. But I am going to try to slip in some vintage to keep everything balanced, okay? Let's get everybody updated on our auctions first. We have a copy of Kiss Rock and Roll Over, original inner sleeve. Very nice. Very clean vinyl. I'm going to call it EX just because of that scuff, but it's going to sound very nice. High bid on Kiss right now. Chuck Wilson bid $25 on Kiss Rock and Roll Over. $25 on that. We got an extremely nice copy of Rush Permanent Waves. I've ultrasonically cleaned this one twice. Joe Gabriel is now at $60 on Rush. Joe Gabriel's at $60. Rush Permanent Waves. We got several. I think that's the only copy of that one we have. And give me 1 second on Warrant. Jeffrey, those are for sale. They're $39.99, but give me a second before I officially show that tonight, because that's going to take me some time to explain all that. Huge pre-order on that. Okay, I don't think I've missed any other claims. Let's go through this crate of vintage stuff. This is all buy it now, best offer. So I'm going to show it. I'm going to tell you the price, what it is. You can buy it now, or if you want to make us an offer. Thanks for thinking of us. That's drowning thus far. Wayne Titsworth is an anti-new vinyl person. So he like starts breaking out into sweat whenever we're showing new vinyl. Razzie Bailey. This is sealed. $14.99, Razzie Bailey. Peter Frampton Comes Alive, $27.99. I've got to pull a copy for Chuck Wilson from last night, unless you want this one, Chuck. It's $2 less. It has somebody's name written on the cover, or I can pull you that other one out. I still got to pull him one of those, though. Willie Nelson, Longhorn Jamboree, $24.99. We've got Sounds of 76. That's like a bicentennial, American Revolution patriotic music. That's sealed. $19.99. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Memorial Album, $19.99. And I have Huey Lewis and the News, 12-inch single, The Power of Love. That is a promo copy. Huey Lewis, $19.99. Feel free to make offers on these. This stuff I think I showed probably not too long ago. Yeah, about 5-6 months ago. Elvis in Concert, $19.99. That's a 2 LP. And Brian Auger's Oblivion Express, Straight Ahead, $14.99. Did somebody else ask me a question? Did Beast over Hammersmith come in? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, update on our auctions. Chuck Wilson, I think, has Kiss for $25. That's going twice, going 3 times. I'm about to sell that to Chuck for $25. It looks like Rush has slowed down to George Buchanan. Permanent waves, original inner sleeve, nice vinyl, ultrasonically clean twice. Going 3 times to George Buchanan for $65. And Mike Vandergits wants Elvis in concert. Greg Preston is in on 26 on Kiss. Elvis in concert sold. The new Cactus Band, let me move my camera a little closer. New Cactus Band is $19.99. Moody Blues 7th Sojourn is $14.99. Barbra Streisand's Greatest Hits Volume 2, $9.99. The Kings Are Here, $19.99. Spy in the House of Love, Was Not Was. I think that's a 12-inch single, $14.99. Ricky Skaggs, Waiting for the Sun to Shine is $14.99. And the Best of Newport and New York 72 Volume 2, Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz, that is $14.99. And the Airport soundtrack is $19.99. We have Elvis. We got 26 on Kiss. How much was the Huey Lewis? $14.99. Matt Ketchern said he would give $5 for that. Matt, that's a sealed copy. I'll sell it to you for $10 if you want it. I'll sell that to you for $10. Steve is at 27 on Kiss. Joe is at 70 on Rush. Chuck Wilson's at 30 on Kiss. And next record is Marvin Hamlish, The Entertainer. He does the soundtrack, the score music to The Sting. I like that, like ragtime type music. $9.99. Montel Jordan, Get It On Tonight. That's a 12-inch single from Def Jam. $14.99. Genesis, Invisible Touch. $19.99 on that. Elton John, Caribou is $19.99. And Rita Coolidge, Anytime, Anywhere. $9.99. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, The Presidential Year. 60 to 63. That's $19.99. And Les Dudek, Say No More. VG Plus, $12.99. So, up for auction. George Buchanan, you're now out on Rush. Joe Gabriel has this for $70. OG copy of Rush Permanent Waves, original inner sleeve. There's the label. Really nice vinyl. Joe Gabriel has that for $70. That's now going once, going twice. Kiss, we have an out from Greg Preston. Chuck Wilson has Kiss Rock and Roll Over for $30. Original inner sleeve. That is at $30 with Chuck Wilson, going once, going twice. Laura Loftus says Barbara 7. That was Barbra Streisand. I think that's what we had that priced. If not, we'll mark that down for $7. No, it was $9.99. Sell that to Laura Loftus for $7. Jeff McMaster wants the Les Dudek, which was right in here. That's Jeff McMaster. Stacy Brown on Montel Jordan, $9.99. Sell that to Stacy Brown for $9.99. Moody Blues, $10. Was that 7th Sojourn? Sell that to Alice Lowry, $10. We're also going to sell Laura Loftus Genesis for $15. I love this. Laura Loftus, $15 on Genesis. George is out on Rush. Do you have any represses of Permanent Waves? No, that's a good point. Well, that's a good question and a good point I can bring up. Permanent Waves is not being reissued as a single disc right now. It's only in the box set. So I'll have a 3 LP box set that has the remastered LP, and I have the remastered LP, and it's a 2 LP live show. Those are $89.99. They're not reissuing it right now as a single LP. So George is out on Rush. Joe Gabriel has this for $70, and that's going twice, going 3 times. Going twice, going 3 times, and Kiss is, well, I told everybody, I don't want to call it OG, but there's the label, and I know there's some of those Casablanca labels that are blue. This one's not, but this may be a label where just the tan-looking label here was the original. I'm not real for sure. This is going twice, going 3 times to Chuck Wilson for $30. Arm Lazelle's back on Rush at $75. Dakota said he would take one of these right here, the Rush Permanent Waves box set. They're actually $79.99. It has the remastered LP and the 2 LP live. We're bidding on an original back here. 40th anniversary. Sell that to Dakota. I can get more of those if anybody else wants one. So Elton John, Caribou. That has a couple hits on it. First track is The Bitch Is Back. $19.99 for Elton John. Jethro Tull, Song from the Wood. If you're just hopping on, this is a buy it now best offer bin. As you see, people's making offers. I'm accepting most of them. I've only countered once. Jethro Tull is a VG copy for $9.99. Bobby Brown, Humping Around. VG Plus, $9.99. I think that's a 12-inch single. Another Side of Bob Dylan. This is a 1964 mono. It's a VG copy for $29.99. VG copy for $29.99. Rush is now at 75. Tim Harper's at 40 on Kiss. U2, The Unforgettable Fire, $34.99 on that. The Marked Men on the outside is $24.99. The Marked Men. Elton John, Captain Fantastic, complete with inserts, $29.99. Retro Class Entertainment wants the Bobby Brown. Sell that to Rydell Martin. He's Retro Class Entertainment on YouTube. Laura Loftus, Elton John, 15. That was for Caribou. Sell that to Laura Loftus. Josh Weber, JFK for 15. Sure thing. I've got 2 copies in here. They're both like collections of his speeches. So this one here, the presidential years, you know, has his inaugural address, State of the Union, where he spoke to the Peace Corps, Berlin Wall, on Cuba, you know, different speeches. And this is pretty much the same thing. Kind of breaks it down. I think it also has some narrations. Josh, either one of those I'll sell to you for $15, or you may want both of them. Debbie Whited on Bob. That was for the Bob Dylan here. Another side of Bob Dylan. Sell that to Debbie Whited. Chuck Wilson's out on Kiss. And the last bid on that was $40. Steve's out too. So Kiss is now at $40 with Tim Harper. That's going once, going twice. Let me see what I've got on Rush right now. Arm Lozelle was at 75. Joe, as Joe said, if he's in or out. Joe, you're back out on Rush. This is now at 75. Final call on that. Josh Weber said he would take both of the Kennedy albums. That's 15 and 15 each on those. Tanner? U2. This is my favorite U2 album. I've already showed it here, but it's $34.99. This is a really clean copy. About a VG Plus or better cover. Just some shelf wear. But I think that's their best work. My opinion, it's better than the Joshua Tree. The Joshua Tree, no doubt, has bigger hits on it. I think that's a better piece of work from beginning to end. Grazing, the Friends of Distinction, Grazing in the Grass. Very cool. Somebody's crossed out some of the tracks or highlighted them, but that song kind of had a surgence. It was used in the Anchorman. It's kind of like the Ron Burgundy theme song that it's got the horns in it when it first comes on. That's a really nice original copy with inner sleeve. Kenny Rogers, Greatest Hits, $9.99. Theborn Rosiger 2. I don't know what that is, but it's sealed from 2014 and it's $34.99. The Dolly Rots, Eat My Heart Out, $24.99. Simon & Garfunkel's Greatest Hits, that's a VG copy for $9.99. The Melodic Stan Getz, $14.99. Hank Williams Jr.'s 14 Greatest Hits, $24.99. And Walt Disney Presents The Moon Spinners original soundtrack, $34.99. Joe Gabriel is back in on Rush at 80. Let's go ahead and sell Kiss to Tim Harper for $40. Rush is at 80 with Joe Gabriel now. Going once, going twice. I've got a whole stack of Rush albums. I knew there would be a lot of activity on them tonight. How about Jailbreak? I meant to get to this last night, but I don't get this one very often at all. I know we had Highway to Hell last night. We had High Voltage. We had If You Want Blood. This is one I don't get as often. Jailbreak, really nice copy too. I've ultrasonically cleaned this. All these auctions tonight I have ultrasonically cleaned. There was no inner sleeve with this. No inner sleeve with this one. Pretty strong cover too for an AC/DC record. $25 start. $25 start on AC/DC Jailbreak. Stephanie Harder on Simon & Garfunkel. Sell that to Stephanie Harder. Kyle Morgan, $19.99 on the Dolly Rots. I had $24.99 on that. I will sell that to Kyle Morgan for $19. Rush Vinyl Grade. Rush, I graded this. I called it EX Plus because it did have, well, let's see. What side is this? This is technically side B. Really hard to find an imperfection on it. Yeah, this is a really clean record. There's not just maybe like a minute. I mean, if you're talking scuffs, it's like you got to tilt the light just right to hit it. Really clean copy. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like if I advertise this as near mint minus and somebody really didn't know our grading as well as they do, they would be happy with near mint minus on this. VG Plus cover and the original inner sleeve. Permanent Waves. Okay, make sure I didn't miss anything there. Chad said 20 on YouTube. I can't do that. I would take 35. I would do $28 on that, Chad. That's probably my best price. That's usually an instant seller. Surprise is still in there. I have sold a lot of copies because I usually hype it up and someone buys it just on my recommendation and they end up enjoying it. Jailbreak or AC/DC, same thing. 25, 25, 30, 26, 25, 40, 35, 27. I need 2112. We auctioned off a copy last night. AC/DC 30, 26, 45. Arm Lazelle is at, oh, Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Rush is at 81, out on AC/DC. And, okay, yeah, Arm Lazelle's at $81 on Rush. High bid on AC/DC is 40. I see $45. I see $45. Judy Garland at Carnegie Hall, 1999. Stan Freberg with the original cast, that's $9.99. Goldfinger soundtrack, that's a VG copy, $9.99. Wildlife Society, Jacktown. B-side is What's Up Jack, $24.99. Guilt is $19.99, and Fresh Fish, Mason Williams, maybe? Fresh Fish, Mason Williams, and the Santa Fe Recital. That's on the Flying Fish label, $19.99. The Mary Lou Williams Quartet featuring Donnie Bias, maybe? Bass, $19.99. Jerry Williams Gone is $9.99. The Hottest Fiddle Ever, Out of Nowhere, Jazz and Hi-Fi, $34.99. David's Album, that's Joan Baez, $9.99. Duty, Honor, Courage, that's a General Douglas MacArthur spoken word record, kind of like the Kennedy stuff, $19.99. And World War II, Historic Voices and Music from World War II, that's $19.99. John Lennon's Imagine. This is a 1971 UK first press with poster. Has the poster, the Imagine John Lennon piano. Wow, that's really nice. 71 OG of that, $44.99. Chad passes on the U2. Joe bid 85 on Rush. I hate to ask, did you have a Kiss Creatures record, then a box set without a record? You have one of each. Yes, I got a Kiss Creatures of the Night. That's a new release for this week. Let me find that. Should be right here. I'll go ahead and show that because I have a bunch of them. This is $39.99. Then I ordered one box set. It's a fantastic box set. It's $299.99. It has everything but the record. It has everything but the record. So if you want the vinyl and all the extra, all the stuff, all the bonus material, it's $299.99. Tim, I kind of had you in mind when I ordered that box set. I had a feeling. I was like, I have enough Kiss fans. Maybe not everybody's ordered it through the Kiss website. Maybe I have at least one person that will want one. Okay, let's see here. Rush 85. That was Tim's comment. Do you have Rush Caressa still in stock? We auctioned off a copy last night. For $67. Debbie Whited had bid 50 on AC/DC. Mark Fallon bid 35 on Imagine, and George Buchanan said he would take it. So in this situation, Mark, you can have it for $44.99 because George said he would take it for that, or you can pass and I'll sell it to George. So Mark, yours for $44.99. If you pass it, so did George Buchanan. Arm Lazelle's out on Rush, so Joe Gabriel has that for a high bid of $85. That's going once, going twice to Joe Gabriel. Rush Permanent Waves, $85. Next comment was Tim Harper, give me both. And Brandon Sanders is at 52 on AC/DC. If you missed this, really clean copy. It's hard for me to find something wrong with this one on the vinyl. No inner sleeve except for the one that I gave it after I ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner. Really strong cover too. High bid on that is $52. Give John Lennon Imagine to George Buchanan, $44.99. Let me grab that Kiss box set. Excuse me. Me and Tanner almost ran into each other. We need sometimes we need some red lights over here. Some red lights and green lights. Especially after we bring the carts up here. When we bring the carts up here, it gets kind of crowded and all these crates and carts. So, Clay County's winning 21-6. So that's not good for my alma mater, Gornsville. I almost didn't have a sale tonight and went to that game, but I was like, they got it. Here's the Kiss box set if anybody else wants me to order them one. They're $299.99, 40th anniversary Creatures of the Night. 103 total tracks, 5 CDs, the 1982 album, remastered, 34 demos, 80-page book, all these buttons, patches, stickers, t-shirt iron-ons, really nice. I shared a video of a Kiss YouTube channel doing a review of that, and there's the LP. Those are both sold to Tim Harper. Okay, if you win, send your email. Yes, if you end up buying something for the first time, I will send you, or I will give you first-time buyer instructions. But it's pretty easy to buy from us. We send you an invoice. If you don't have a Facebook, we'll send it to you through email. But sell Kiss to Clay Moore. I've got about 3 or 4 more of those left if anybody else wants one. Okay. Kyle Morgan says Guilt 15. Was that something in here? What was that? Guilt? This right here? Sell that to Kyle Morgan for $15. Let's go ahead and end Rush before I get too deep into this crate again. Rush is sold to Joe Gabriel for $85. And we need to do a final call on AC/DC. Brandon Sanders has that for $52. Going twice, going 3 times. Going twice, going 3 times. What do we have up? We'll pause. We'll do a Rush after this one. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules, OG Press, super clean. Ultrasonically cleaned this one last night. Anti-static, that is the inner sleeve that came with it. $25 start. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. Very nice copy. $25 start on that. Okay, let's finish this crate out. Beginnings, the Allman Brothers Band. This is $29.99. The cover is probably a VG. It's got quite a bit of shelf wear and handle wear on it, ring wear. I won't call that shelf wear. That's wear, ring wear. The vinyl is probably, it is really nice. I'm going to call it EX on the vinyl. But what Beginnings is, it's the first 2 Allman Brothers albums. It's self-titled and Idlewild South. $29.99 on that. Allman Brothers Beginnings. Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson, Poncho and Lefty. That's a gold stamp promo, $14.99. Pete's at $45 on Black Sabbath. Chad and Eddie bid $25. Carl Perkins, blue suede shoes, or excuse me, old blue suede's back. That's $14.99. Greg Allman Band, $29.99. The Sting soundtrack, I was talking about that earlier. Sting soundtrack, that's a VG Plus, $14.99. The Moody Blues, On the Threshold of a Dream, is a VG Plus, $9.99. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Greatest Hits, VG Plus, $9.99. And the Moody Blues, In Search of Lost Chord, a VG, $9.99. So Mob Rules is at $45. The Mob Rules, that's the words of Ronnie James Dio. Gabe said he would give $9.99 for Poncho and Lefty. Sell that to Gabe. And let's go ahead and sell Jailbreak. Brandon Sanders gets that for $52. Jailbreak. Let's see. What do we got up there? Sabbath. A lot of people's been waiting on this one since I posted it this morning. Van Halen 5150. An album that has never been reissued. It was a big seller, so they're out there, but they're pretty high in demand. But if there is a record that hasn't been reissued, then I'm telling you, they're all, especially something with the name Van Halen on it, as big an album as this was. This is in shrink wrap. It's a near mint copy of original inner sleeve. $25 start. $25 start. If we get a second, hand me, I need to show everybody the Beatles record while we got everybody on. So kind of an advertisement for that. I think it's up there in that cubby. Gabe, I sold him Poncho. Greg said he would give $10 for the Judy Garland at Carnegie Hall. Go ahead and sell that to Greg for $10. How much is Lost Chord for Brian Sharkey? In Search of Lost Chord. This is my second favorite Moody Blues album. This is a VG $9.99, and it's also about a VG cover. This one's been loved. Not well loved, but it's been loved. $9.99 on that, Brian Sharkey. Did you sell U2? Hold on a second. I missed some stuff here. Or did you sell U2? Oh, that's right. Somebody commented they wanted U2. Was that you, George? George Buchanan wants U2 for $28. Chad passes, so sell that to George Buchanan for $28. Any Dylan, we had one in here earlier, Bob. So the way our shows work is it's just whatever's in the crate. You just never know. We've had rock in here. We've had jazz. We've had country. All of our crates are kind of mixed. I don't really know. Do we have Bob Dylan albums? Yes, we have hundreds of them. I just don't know where they're at. They're in our many tens of thousands throughout the store here. 51.50, $30, $35, $25, $35, $25. Brandon says, I'll be picking it up. Okay, so Brandon is next. He's coming to Tennessee soon. Van Halen, 40. Brian says he will take Lost Chord, sell U2 for $28 to George Buchanan. And next record is Gary McFarlane Company, Does the Sun Really Shine on the Moon? VG Plus, $14.99. Yes, we just got this in. I posted it on Facebook this morning. This is one of the grails of Beatle collecting. This is a butcher cover. This is a third state, meaning the trunk cover was originally pasted over this and it's been peeled off. So the trunk cover has been peeled off. Very common. When I first saw it, I was like, wow. And then you start looking at it closely and you're like, okay, it's a peeled cover. Lots of signs. I've had 2 people tell me this horizontal striping, where I reckon is from where it was probably peeled. And there's some glue residue up here on the spine. So pretty rare record. If y'all don't know the story behind this, it's very interesting. There's a YouTube video. I shared it on the post in the group of a pretty cool story. This is a stereo copy, which is a little bit more rare than the mono. But long story short, this album was recalled. The album cover was recalled. Some of them got out. Most of them got back to the factory, and they pasted over the trunk cover. So if you have a Yesterday and Today with the trunk cover, you can look right here. Ringo's turtleneck shows through. That's about the best indicator if you have one with the trunk cover. If you can see Ringo's turtleneck, you've got... Actually, I was, like that guy said in the YouTube video, a lot of people want the unpeeled ones because there's some professionals out there that can peel them really well. And, of course, everybody wants this one. So, unpeeled, you know, they want a butcher cover. But some people like just having the trunk covers near mint, second state. But most people are peeling them. So, this is not cheap. We're going to put it up for auction. I've told about 2 dozen people now we'll auction it one night. I mean, it's inexpensive. So, it's not a cheap record. It's not worth tens of thousands, but they're not cheap. Especially the better the peel job, the more they'll bring. So it's in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'll put it this way. I'm not going to sell it for, it's not going to go cheap, or I'm going to keep it. I mean, I've never had but just a couple, and they were second states. I've never had one first state or even peeled. And y'all know how many records I've bought. Thousands. So they don't pop up in collections. You usually have to go out and find them. It's really hard to find one in this condition. But we will auction this at some point. You know, it's going to take a high start for me to get it rolling, but it will be for sale at some point. That is one of the grails of record collecting. That is one of them. So, all right, let's get everybody caught up on our auctions. Final call on Black Sabbath. This is with Pete. Pete W. has this for $45. Pete has that for $45. That's going once. That's final call. Going twice, going 3 times. And we have Van Halen 5150. Let me go through those bids one more time. I've got Preston Rogers at $50. I've got Preston Rogers at $50. Yeah, Preston Rogers is at $50. High bid on this is $50. Let's see. Not sure. That's Rush self-titled. That one's pretty tough to get. What's your high start? I hadn't determined. It's a lot. It may take, I don't know. John Young buys and sells them all the time. I think it's going to take 4 digits for me to sell this one, and that might be too much, but it's, I think, going to be at least it's going to be a 4-digit number for me to sell this one based on what I've sold. And that might be on the high end, but they're rare. They don't come up for sale really too often unless you have connections. Bob Dylan, bringing it all back home. We have a VG copy for $34.99. Whoever just asked about Dylan, this is a 1965 mono pressing, Pittman pressing. VG $34.99. Bringing it all back home. Thomas O'Brien's at 55. Preston says he'll pass, so he's out. Let's go ahead and sell Mob Rules for 45 to Pete W. Van Halen's at $55. We have a near mint copy in shrink wrap of $51.50. Arthur the Album is a VG Plus $14.99. Ricky Skaggs, Love's Gonna Get Ya is a VG Plus $9.99. Cool and the Gang, Emergency, $14.99. Waylon Jennings. This is, who's been looking for this? Luke Mitchell? I think this is what Luke Mitchell. I think I've had somebody been looking for this. $74.99, Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. This is in shrink wrap. It's a 1973 orange RCA label, $74.99. I do need to set that aside, though. Adam Stein on Bob Dylan. Final Call on Van Halen. Final Call on Van Halen at $55 with Thomas O'Brien. Then I'm putting up 2 new auctions, including a new Rush album. Humble Pie, Smoking, VG copy $9.99. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 2, VG Plus $24.99. VG Plus on the vinyl, $24.99. Rich Recor said Arthur $10. Tom said Arthur $7. I'm going to sell it to Rich for $10. Next is Al Stewart, Time Passages, VG Plus $9.99. Paul McCartney, Venus and Mars, VG Plus $14.99. Paul McCartney, Venus and Mars, VG Plus $14.99. UJ Miller is back in on Van Halen at 56. Brian Sharkey said he will take the Dylan's Greatest Hits. We have the Association Live, VG Plus $9.99. Todd Rundgren, Wizard of, what's this one called? A Wizard, a True Star. That's a VG copy, $9.99. Thomas O'Brien back in on Van Halen at 57. Chubby Checker Beach Party is a VG, $9.99. Kenny Rogers and the First Editions, a VG copy, $9.99. These are all buy it now or best offer, as you can tell. Sometimes people get in their offers before you. Sometimes I've had people offer and I've went ahead and accepted it, and then somebody's claimed it at full price. So it's just kind of however it falls. That's sold to Brian Sharkey. Chad, you were second on it. Thomas O'Brien is at 57. UJ's back in at 58 on Van Halen, $51.50. If you're just joining us, first, Mike Vandergist wants Chubby Checker. A lot to do tonight. We've got to do new vinyl. We've got a website clean out. So we do have a website. As y'all know, we sell. Clay Moore needs to put back the Creatures of the Night. I think that's something we just tagged him for, I think. Yeah, Clay Moore needs to put that back. We do have a website, but we have a store here too, but we sell on Facebook. This is and here on YouTube. This is where we sell our records. So I have like a lot of stuff that's been on our website for a long time, a lot of stuff that's out of print. I'm going to bring that up here in just a second, and we're going to put it all on sale, and I hope I sell everything in there. And we're not really going to use our website too much anymore. I mean, we really don't. We'll put our merchandise on there, but we sell here on Facebook. So final call on these. Is that a 70s pop? Yes. Stacy, I don't guess Luke's watching. I'll put that back in there. This is a 70s pop annual. It is $29.99. Brian says cancel Bob Dylan. He already has one. Okay, so sell that to Chad Kerfoot for $20 then. Chad, I'm going to sell you Bob Dylan for $20. Let me read through these titles again. If you want prices, let me know. Or if you already know the price and you want to make an offer, go ahead. Waylon Jennings, Razzie Bailey, Peter Frampton, Willie Nelson, Sounds of 76, Huey Lewis and the News, Brian Auger, New Cactus, The Kings. Yes, I'm going to do, Stacy takes 70s Pop Annual. I'm going to do Cherry Pie next. Thomas is out on Van Halen. Van Halen is at $58 with UJ Miller. That's going twice, going 3 times. Preston wants Cool in the Gang. Chris Wood said 15 on the Allman Brothers. I will do $25 on the Allman Brothers. Preston, let me find Cool in the Gang, and it's yours. Was Not Was, Ricky Skaggs. That's the Best of Newport, New York. Airport soundtrack, Marvin Hamlish, Rita Coolidge, Jethro Tull, The Marked Men, Elton John, Grazing in the Grass. Huey Lewis was $14.99. Friends of Distinction, Kenny Rogers, The Born Rosiger, something like that. Stan Getz, Hank Williams Jr., 14 Greatest Hits, The Moon Spinners, Disney soundtrack. Stan Freberg, Goldfinger soundtrack. Wildlife Society, Mason Williams, Mary Lou Williams Quartet, Jerry Williams, We have Joan Baez, Douglas MacArthur, World War II. Allman Brothers, yes, I said 25 on that if anybody wants it. It's their first and second album. Carl Perkins, Greg Allman Band, Playing Up a Storm. The Sting, Moody Blues, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Gary McFarlane, Ricky Skaggs, Cool and the Gang is sold to Preston Rogers. Next comment, Laura Loftus said 15 on Elton John. Was that for Captain Fantastic? I can do 20 on that one. It's complete with the inserts. Laura, I'll do 20 on that one. Krista Moss said $9.99 on the Huey Lewis single. That is sold to Krista Moss. That is right here. Mike Vandergits on the Marvin Hamlish. That's right here. Sell that to Mike Vandergits. Let's see. Laura Loftus said, okay, so yeah, sell that to Laura for $20. Laura Loftus on that. What else have I missed? Greg Allman, 22. It does have a pretty... Let me make sure Chris Wood Sr. doesn't want it. Because he offered first. I will sell that for $22. Let me find it again. The cover's not the greatest. I would definitely... It would be a hard no if this had a nice cover on it. What the heck happened to it? Let's see here. Kenny Rogers, Todd Rundgren, Association, Paul McCartney, Al Stewart, Humble Pie, Ricky Skaggs, Gary McFarlane, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Moody Blues, Sting, Greg Allman. There it is. So if Chris passes at 22, Greg, I will sell that to you. So Greg Preston's 22 if Chris passes. Brian Goldfinger was a VG copy for $9.99. Jeff McMaster said Greg Allman, $9.99. Sell that to Jeff McMaster. Marco V, I told somebody I would do Sounds of 76 for $10. It's sealed. It's sealed. And I think he passed. So Marco, if you want that, $10. Chris said let it go. So Greg, you got that for 22. All right, let's go ahead and sell Van Halen. Van Halen is sold to UJ Miller for $58. Songs from the Wood was also a VG copy. It was also a VG copy for $9.99. Marco takes Sounds of 76 for $10. Mason Williams does not have classical gas on it. Next, let's do one here. Let me figure out which one. I think both of these are, yeah. Okay. All right. Y'all know the drill, Rush and Kiss. First, let's pull Brian Sharkey's Goldfinger soundtrack. That's a classic. All right. Rush, Fly By Night. Let's take this one out of the sleeve. Cover on this one's really nice. I ran this to the ultrasonic cleaner. If you don't know what that is, it's a really high quality cleaner we have here. That's the original inner sleeve. And let me take a look at this one. Yeah, really nice copy. Glossy, almost no marks on it. Has some of those like odd looking scuffs, but they're really not visible. This one is something we don't get too often. They actually have, I'm like, wow, there it is. I wish they would repress this. $25 start on Rush, Fly By Night. Kiss Destroyer. Super clean. Super clean copy of Kiss Destroyer. There's the label. Has the original Kiss insert. $25 start on that. Kiss Destroyer. $25 start. Also, Songs from the Wood for Brian Sharkey. You've got it. Brian Sharkey also gets Songs from the Wood. Okay, Rush. We've got 40, 60, 35, 25, 65. Wayne Carr is at 30 on Kiss, 50 on Rush, 40 on Kiss. Those will be some high activity records. Let me grab a crate of new vinyl. Let me slide behind you here, Josh. Let me figure out what's new and what's sold. This is new stuff here. I think that red crate on the bottom is the stuff that's pre-sold. Alrighty. Since we got two pretty busy auctions going, I need to go ahead and show this. It's going to take it's going to take a lot of oxygen. I may need to go get a bottle of water first. You can go ahead and claim one if you've been waiting to claim one live. Some people like buying stuff live on the show, like people like buying, or people go vote on election day. They refuse to early vote. I kind of do the same thing. I like voting on election day, but some people, they like to wait till it's live here on the show before they actually claim one. Excuse me a second. All right, so this has officially set a new Collectco record for pre-orders. We surpassed 100 on this today after they came in. This is Warrant Cherry Pie. Now, as a record store dealer, I'm like, I love to see this because, one, I know so many people want it, and it's such an expensive record, they're finally going to get it and enjoy it in their collection. And then me, as a record dealer who makes a living selling records, this is like huge news. I'm like, wow, I probably can sell 10 million of these. So, Warrant Cherry Pie, original copies, I was looking not too long ago, maybe a couple hours, and I don't know how much they've dropped since they announced this, but I mean, we've sold them for in the hundreds before. I think realistically, you know, I mean, nice copies in shrink wrap could bring $400 or $500. I think average copies, maybe the censored versions, I don't really know the whole history, but 100, 150, 200 would be a great deal if you can find one. This is a music on vinyl pressing. They're $39.99. This is limited edition of 2,000 individually numbered copies on silver and black marbled colored vinyl. Double certified platinum album, $39.99. Now, everybody got one. I don't know if I really need to read off this list. I can. I mean, it's going to take a little bit. But yes, this has Ode to Tipper Gore. And I think that's the first time it's been repressed on the vinyl onto vinyl since its original pressing. So we got a full allocation of these. I've pre-sold over 100 and I got in 150 and I should be getting 150 more. So let me read these names off just so everybody's watching, because there's some people claiming, and then you'll know if you're on the list and if you need an extra or not. Chad Duggan, Craig Proper, Terry Myers, Cameron Nance, Jamie Shears, Greg Hagewood, Rick and Kara Reynolds, Jason Ivey, Lawrence McVeigh, Tim Holloway, Stacy Brown, Woods Felix, Cameron Martin, KB Billingsley, Mark Karst, Bubby Mercer, Rob Scheffler, Linda Lamb, Scott Smith got 2, Lisa Williams, Matt Algrams, Jeffrey Blivens, Julianne Roman, John Sheehan, Wayne Kelly, Kyle Gregory, Dwayne Sevilla, Clay Moore, Tammy Ray, Brenda Medina, Bill Fratsky got 2, Dakota Wilkie, Jeff Helton, Sean Crupper, Jamie Sperlin, Stacy Metternich, Richard Davis, Eric Beck, Dan Popovich, Debbie Blair, Mark Jacobs, Kevin Jordan got 2, Calvin Ward, Josie Stapleton, Tony Vance, Bob Madine, Kendall Edwards, Sean Jenkins, Don Brzezinski, Greg Rogers, Scott Fish, Tom Steyer, Dolan Webb, Randy Scarborough, Brent K. William Lee Murray got 2, Lillian McCurry, Jerry Lee, Carol Plunk, Eric Smalley, George Buchanan, Tracy McFadden, Rick Hayes, Jamie Butler, Candy Monk, Greg Preston, Chad Hovis, Steve Botsford, Jen Baker, Paul Brothers, Tim Harper, Nick Pullen, Kevin Huffman, Whitney Croy, Todd Pratt, Jeff McIntosh, Brian Clement, Jay Condi, David Tate, Susie Breedlove, Kevin Moore, Chris Jones, Angela Leckington, Jeffrey Butts, Thomas O'Brien got 2, Alan Jonathan, Kevin Crowell got 2, Bill Walton, Kevin Squires, Brent Rabley, David Schroeder, and Mike Massey. Now, that is Warrant. Let me go back to where they started. Let me get an update on our auctions. I think I seen a bit of Rush come in. I did. Okay, Rush Fly By Night, Jerry Stone is at $77. Rush is at $77 of Jerry Stone. OG, we have Kiss Destroyer. This is at, where are we at on Kiss? Kiss. George Buchanan's at 70. 70 on Kiss Destroyer. We're at 77 on Rush, just so everybody knows. Now, Tanner, the warrants, I'll just have Tanner. I don't have these physically on hand. We have plenty, so I'm just going to read off these names. It started with Joe Valentine. Thomas O'Brien wanted 2. Tim Harper says he wants 3. His name was on the list, so we need to tag him for 2 more. Joe Gabriel wants 1. Stephen Roberts wants 1. Tom Ulanowski wants 1. Mike Massey, I got you down. Wayne Carr wants 1. I do have enough. Kelly McDonald, Cherry Pie. Eddie Bruce takes 2. Stephen Tuttle wants 1. John Lang wants 1. Brent K wants a second one. Sorry, Brent, I never can say your name. Bubby Mercer wants a second one. Randy Davis wants 1. This is the third press and has ode to Tipper Gore on it. Randy Davis wants 1. Rush is at 76. Tim Harper wants a total of 3. Let's see. I claimed a warrant in the list earlier. Yes, Alan, I got you down on that. I stopped at Mike Massey. He was the last one. Yeah, Alan Jonathan, that was the post. These names right here, most of this page was the post I made on our main page earlier. Pete Pete C. Cole, his name is ColYvas. Sorry, Pete. I have another Pete. I can't say his last name. I got you down for a warrant. And we do have a pre-order on Dirty, Rotten, Stinky, Filthy, Rich. They're repressing that one as well. So these are really nice too. We got all really nice copies. No damage, no dings. So, all right. After that right there, I'm probably about to sell the first 150. It will be almost a week before we get the other 150, if we get them. So, cross your fingers. Final call, Cherry Pie is $39.99. Kiss Destroyer, I didn't see any other bids. George Buchanan going twice, going 3 times. Can you read that list again? No. Rush is at 77 with Jerry Stone, going twice, going 3 times. Rush Fly By Night is at $77. Okay. The 70s #1 hits, $39.99. This is technically a new release. It was on my sheet. $39.99. This is ABBA, Elton John, Kiki D, Blondie, The Police. I'm not going to read all these artists either. But this looks like a really nice compilation. 2 LP, $39.99. The 80s #1 hits, $39.99. So we have the 80s #1 hits and the 70s #1 hits. Girl School. I think this is a new release. It was Hit and Run. Girl School, $36.99. This should be on purple vinyl. I think there were 3 colors of this. I ordered the purple. Tracy Miller wants the 70s #1 hits. Sell that to Tracy. I also see our post is still getting comments. So the post I made and in the group, since we've been live, people are commenting they want a copy of Cherry Pie. Stacy, if you're okay with it, we'll put you on a waiting list for 70s #1 hits. Tracy also wants the 80s. So if anybody else wants on this waiting list, I only got 1 of each. Stacy, I'll put you on a waiting list. Those will be here next week. And Rydell Martin, I'll put you on one. LA Guns. I have a feeling I don't have enough of these. This is a live show, Toronto 1990. LA Guns. This is limited edition red and blue vinyl. That is $36.99. Kiss Destroyer is sold to George Buchanan for $70. And Rush Fly By Night is sold to Jerry Stone for $77. Rush Fly By Night. Sell that to Jerry Stone for $77. Let's get 2 new auctions rolling. Let's go ahead and take care of those wait lists, though. Rydell Martin on the 80s waiting list. Mike Massey on the 80s wait list. Matt Algram on the 80s wait list. Stacy is good with the 70s waiting list. So 3 people on the 80s waiting list. Stacy on that one. Richard Davis, the first and only person on the LA Gun. Sell that to Richard Davis. Jason Ivey also wants on the 80s waiting list. Say Anything in Defense of the Genre. Music on vinyl. Say Anything in the defense of the genre. Limited edition 1,500. Individually numbered copies on smoke-colored vinyl. That is $46.99. 2 LP. Music on vinyl. The pre-order for that was... somebody asked if we could order that. Jason Kenton. Jason Kenton on Say Anything. Yeah, I can't read that list twice. That took a lot out of me doing that once. The Iron Giant. This was kind of sentimental to me. This was like a childhood movie. $64.99. The Iron Giant Deluxe Edition. 2 LP set includes the complete score, alternate, and rare demos. This is on that Versace Sarabande label. Looks very well made. Gatefold 2 LP. Light in the Attic. $64.99. The Iron Giant. Transplants. I don't know if this was a special order for somebody and we didn't take down the name, but I only ordered one and it's a new release. It says limited anniversary edition colored vinyl, $31.99. Transplants. I've only got one of them. Wolf Mother back in stock. We did have somebody on a waiting list for Wolf Mother. Wolf Mother? That's a mouthful. Wolf Mother. Blah, blah, blah. Jeff Dedman. We sold out and we had a waiting list. I've got 2 more copies. Jeff Dedman, I've already got you down for one. That's $54.99. That's a music on vinyl 2 LP. Wolf Mother. Pearl Jam Vitology back in stock. Pearl Jam Vitology. I did have a waiting list for Vitology. Mike Massey and Dakota Wilkie. Mike Massey and Dakota Wilkie. I already have you down for a Vitology. These are $39.99. 2 LP. Pearl Jam back in stock. Matt Algram once on the 70s #1 hits waiting list. Mike Massey takes a transplant. And I've got 2 copies of Wolf Mother. I've got 3 copies of Pearl Jam. Cameron Nance also wants a Pearl Jam. I need to get auctions rolling. What are we doing? Let's do Led Zeppelin and AC/DC. We got some classic rock giants tonight. This is another interesting pressing with the House of the Holy here. We had one last night. This has the RL, the Sterling RL, Bob Lugwood markings in the dead wax. But it's got the reissue catalog number, 19130. So there for the longest, we assumed that the RL was only on the OGs, but happenstance, we got a reissue label with the same thing. This one has some scuffs that's a little bit more than what I like to call with EX or even near mint or EX plus near mint. So I'm going to call this one VG plus / EX. Pretty close, especially side 1. Side 1 is definitely EX. The other side would be closer to VG plus. $25 start. This album originally came out in 73. This is probably closer to a early 77 repress. $25 start on that. Another AC/DC. A clean copy of Back in Black. Something we don't get very often. The vinyl is immaculate. Super nice. Has a couple sleeve scuffs on it. The cover, always tough to find it's difficult to find a clean cover on this one. Has a crease right here. Always shows wear. $25 start on Back in Black. So AC/DC's $25 start. Led Zeppelin's $25 start. Hymn, Greatest Love Songs, Volume 666. I had an original copy of this a couple years ago, and it was expensive. Like $200 plus, I think. $44.99, Hymn. I don't know a lot about that, but I know it's always in demand. There's Dazed and Confused, Volume 2, $39.99. White with red splatter, bloodshot eyes. That's $39.99. This came out a couple weeks ago, and we didn't get them. We're getting them now. John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow, the multi-platinum classic album, newly remixed and mastered at half speed, DMM, direct metal mastering. That is $33.99. Preston Rogers, Wolf. It was Wolf Mother, just self-titled. This is the only record in print by them right now. This is the one that has the Joker and the Thief song on it. $54.99. Queen 2, half-speed master, $33.99. Queen 2, half-speed master, $33.99. That's a new release. We auctioned off a copy of this last night for $50, $60, $70. One of the tougher Queen albums to find in their catalog. If you don't have this already, this is a great alternative. A new half-speed master, $33.99. John Lang is at $25 on Led Zeppelin. Is everybody awake? We're auctioning off a really clean copy of Led Zeppelin House of the Holy. It does have a couple marks. That's why I called it VG plus / EX. $25 start on that. Houses of the Holy. And we don't have a bid yet on Back in Black. Do y'all realize how big this album is? $25 start. And the vinyl on that is really nice. It's so tough. We had a copy one time in shrink wrap. I think, was that from the Pennsylvania collection? I think we sold it for over $100. Not cheap to find one near mint and shrink wrap. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love, remastered, $31.99. This has the hit Running Up That Hill, Deal With God on it, $31.99. Deftones, self-titled. Deftones is $29.99. And we have Deftones Diamond Eyes, $29.99. So 2 Deftones, self-titled and Diamond Eyes, and the new Prodigy. Prodigy, The Fat of the Land, 25th anniversary, silver vinyl. So we've been getting these in and out. We finally have Prodigy as a new release now. Silver vinyl, 25th anniversary. I had a few people pre-order on that one. Kevin Jordan, Dallas Coop, and Preston Rogers. Those are in and will be on this week's invoice. Okay, we got some bids, it looks like. Led Zeppelin 25, AC/DC 25, Led Zeppelin 27, Led Zeppelin 28, AC/DC 25, AC/DC 30, AC/DC 26, AC/DC 27. Carol says, how big? 12 by 12. What did I say? I'm not for sure. Kyle, check. I'll do that, Kyle. AC/DC 28, Led Zeppelin 30, AC/DC 30. Darwin's also at 30. Gary Hackett on Diamond. That's Deftone. Sell that to Gary Hackett. Tracy Miller on the Prodigy. Greg Hagewood also on Deftones Diamonds. Alice Lowry's at 33 on AC/DC. LV77. I don't have any more Prodigy, so if you're okay with a waiting list, let me know. Debbie Blair's at 32 on AC/DC. Darwin's at 40. Tony Prodigy is $46.99. I'm sold out, but if you want on the waiting list, I'll definitely order more. William Simmons wants the Deftone self-titled. Chad, what is the pressing on the Pearl Jam? The hype sticker says Pearl Jam Vitology. Vinyl edition 2LP 180 gram audio file. Has a blurb about the tracks. It's a 2011 Sony Legacy. That's about all I can tell you about opening one up. $39.99. Tim Harper's at 40 on AC/DC. Stephanie 35. Alice is out. AC/DC is big. Yes, it was a big album. It was a monster. Back in Black. Put Yvette Vergara on the waiting list, and she asked about Prodigy. Tony Doyle, let me know if you want on that as well. Okay, so let's get everybody an update. Tim Harper is at 45 on AC/DC. That's the highest bid I see. Back in Black. And then Led Zeppelin Led Zeppelin House of the Holy. I had Brian at 30. I got Brian Hummel at $30. Going once, going twice. 30 going once, going twice. AC/DC 45 going once, going twice. Tony passing for now. One more run through on this bin. Girl School, new release. That's called Hit and Run, purple vinyl, $26.99. Say Anything in Defense of the Genre, $46.99. The Iron Giant, $64.99. Wolf Mother, surprised we hadn't sold out. These usually aren't too hard to get. It's their only record in print, and their stuff that's out of print is not cheap. Music on Vinyl, 2LP, $54.99. Has the Joker and the Thief on it. Pearl Jam Vitology is $39.99. Him is $44.99. Dazed and Confused, $39.99. That's on Splatter Vinyl. The new John Cougar Scarecrow, $33.99. Queen 2, $33.99. Kate Bush is $31.99. Oops, I almost left out Ringo. New release from Ringo Starr, EP3. Tony Murphy, I have you down for a pre-order on this. Ringo Starr EP3 features 4 brand new tracks on 10-inch vinyl, $28.99. That is new from... He was in a band called The Beatles, $28.99. AC/DC 46, Led Zeppelin 31. Brian's out on Led Zeppelin. So John Lang, you may end up with a Zeppelin because Brian's out. 31 on Led Zeppelin, going once, going twice to John Lang. Price on the 70s and 80s, those were $39.99, Alice. Tim Harper is out on AC/DC. What is Girl School? Is that country? No, I don't believe so. I think that is rock. Do you have any more Guns N' Roses Illusion 2? Let me check on that, Deborah. Jared is in at 32 on Led Zeppelin. Jared Koski. Looks like a new buyer and a new bidder. All right, so final call on AC/DC at $46 with Darwin. McCartney singles box set, we will probably be getting 0. I emailed 2 sales rep, and they contacted some people, and they said, holy cow, we're not getting any. The demand for that McCartney box set has been extremely overwhelming, they've said, which is incredible to me. It's a $600 box set, and they have sold an astronomical amount. Let's see here. What do we got in here? Let me go through this crate. I've got 2 more half crates of new vinyl. Let me go through one more. Whoop, don't want to knock those off. I got one more, and then we'll do a crate of vintage right quick. How's the owls doing?
Come back, 32, 20.
What about the tigers? Wow, that's weird. That's an upset, in my opinion. Ringo has the records on Record Store Day. I'll be out of the country. Huh. I'll have to... I buy anything Beatles. I'll keep on these Ringo. I mean, I try to buy literally anything Beatles. John Lang is at 33 on Led Zeppelin. Jared, you're out, so that's going once, going twice to John Lang. Let's do a final call on the AC/DC. Darwin has that for $46. I'm about to sell that. Then I may go ahead and sell Led Zeppelin. If so, I'll put up 2 new auctions. New vinyl and restocks. But yeah, one more time on the McCartney box set. If you can secure that from somewhere else, I don't know how. I mean, because 2 of the biggest distributors in the country aren't getting any. It's sold out through the website. So probably privately through the McCartney, Beatles, whoever's actually making that, they're probably going to be selling and distributing all of them, all 3,000 of them. So that's unbelievable. A $600 box set, and there's like, they could probably sell 10,000 of them. So when I heard 80 singles, I was like, well, that's kind of weird, but they know what they're doing. So he's never really put anything out that hadn't done well, right? I mean, the guy has a track record of 60 years of #1 records. Wasp, Galagatha, $36.99. Wasp, Galagatha, $36.99. Like I said, some Wasp stuff has come back in stock. I've definitely been grabbing them because their stuff usually isn't too easy to get. Spam, I don't see any spam unless I don't know who's spamming, but Chad, if you get one, do you want it? I mean, if I end up with one, I've ordered them, but they said I'm not getting any. But if I do end up with one, I would love to keep it, but I do have some people telling me that they want them. So, John Lang on Wasp. John Lang on Wasp. Those same people told you not getting tools. See what happened. Yeah, but I think this is a little different because they said they're only making 3,000. I had no idea they were going to literally make 1 million toolbox sets. John Lang on Wasp. Pearl Jam, Aladdin, Las Vegas, but I don't know. They may say we're going to reissue it next year on colored vinyl. That's what they've been doing. If they limit a box set now, then they repress it later on colored vinyl. They're like, okay, this is limited to 3,000, but we're going to make it again next year on colored vinyl, another 3,000. So that's kind of the loophole they have with this, quote, limited stuff. Pearl Jam, Aladdin, Las Vegas, $39.99. This is sold to Cameron Nance. But yes, if anybody can get one for the... no one has them on hand yet. So if anybody is selling one, that is somebody, I guess, who has a confirmed pre-order and they're trying to double their money. But those definitely hadn't shipped yet. So if someone has one on hand, that's incredible. They've, like, stole it, I think. So if anybody else wants one of those Pearl Jams, just let me know. Alice in Chains, $26.99. This is on colored vinyl. Oakland, California, 1992. This is $26.99. Peter Gabriel, Live Blood, 3LP, red vinyl. This is a half-speed master, triple LP live album from Peter Gabriel, $46.99. I've never had that before. We need to end these auctions. AC/DC is sold to Darwin. Darwin, you got AC/DC for $46, and Led Zeppelin is sold to John Lang for $33. I still have toolbox sets for sale, and I'm about to start discounting them as we approach Christmas. So if you're still interested in a Tool Fear Inoculum box set, let me know, and we'll hook you up with one. All right, Metal Church, The Dark. Hey, Metal Church, The Dark. Near mint. This thing looks like it's brand new. Has the original lyric insert and the original inner sleeve, which is just a standard wide inner sleeve. Metal Church, the dark, extremely nice copy, $35 start. And Rush Hemispheres. Rush Hemispheres. This is a exceptionally nice copy. So let me take a look at this one. Give you all the details. Original Mercury inner sleeve. Rush Hemispheres. This side has a couple of non-feeler, non-audible needle drops right here at the very first part of Hemispheres. And this side here is extremely nice. I've ultrasonically cleaned this. New anti-static. Our next Rush auction is Hemispheres. This one has like, I didn't want to try to damage it too bad. It looks like hot glue because it peels off really easy. It looks like some hot glue is stuck to the cover. I ran my finger over it and like a bunch of it popped off, but I hadn't really tried to remove it. So the jacket does have some damage. The gatefold's really nice. Rush Hemispheres. This is a $25 start for Rush Hemispheres. Original inner sleeve too. Krista Moss is at $35 on Metal Church. Brian Sharkey takes the live blood, just like the mono. Yes, they're reissuing the Rolling Stones mono box set, which was supposed to be limited and numbered, but they're doing it on colored vinyl now. So this is, I've seen like 2 or 3 people post this. They really are enjoying it. First time we've offered it. A tribute to Billy Joe Schaefer, Live Forever, $33.99. Amazing lineup of people on here paying tribute to Billy Joe Schaefer. 1,500 copies. I only have one on a diamond-colored vinyl. Look at some of these artists. Willie Nelson, Ryan Bingham, Rodney Crowne, Miranda Lambert, Eddie Brickell, Nathaniel Ratliff, George Strait, Amanda Shire, Steve Earle, Margot Price, Willie Nelson, and Allison Russell. $33.99. $33.99 on that. Deftones covers. $39.99 for Deftones covers. Looks like a Deftones covers album. $39.99. Pussifer, Existential Reckoning. $36.99. AC/DC, Johnson City, 1988, limited edition, colored vinyl. That is an unofficial. That is Johnson City, Tennessee. Johnson City, Tennessee. That is on, I think, red vinyl. $39.99. AC/DC, 1988, Johnson City. Floyd is at $35 on Rush. Chris is at $35 on Metal Church. Metal Church and Rush going twice, going 3 times. I've only seen one bid. I'm going to sell those pretty fast unless some bids come in, so don't think too long. Brian Sharkey said he'll take the Billy Joe Schaefer. If anybody else wants one, let me know. It's really hard to find his albums, his original stuff. We got a sealed copy, actually. Marshall Bassett says, Billy Joe Schaefer, Marshall, if you're okay, I will order another one of those, and it'll be here first of next week, if that's okay with you. Kevin Huffman's at $36 on Metal Church. Rush is at $40 with Brent Rabley. There's some bids. I was about to say, what the heck? The Rolling Stones, Let It Bleed, $34.99. Twisted Sister, A Twisted Christmas, $28.99. Metallica, In the City of Brotherly Love, live Metallica. It don't really tell the date, but we've sold several of these. This is red vinyl, Metallica live unofficial, $39.99. AC/DC's The Razor's Edge, $31.99. Funkadelic is $29.99. And we have Tom Petty, My Kind of Heartbreak, Volume 1 and Volume 2, $31.99. I had a waiting list for that. I have a waiting list for some of those. Let's see. Wasp Dominator, Richard Davis and John Mintzmoyer, those came in. Wasp Galagatha, one came in for Chris Crowley. Tony Murphy, there's your Ringo Starr. I've already done Prodigy. NXS Live, Walt Cruz and Mike Massey, that came in. Pearl Jam Vitology, Mike Massey and Dakota Wilkie. Wolf Mother for Jeff Dedman, and Say Anything for Jason Kenton. We've already done Ray Charles, Colt. Chad Kerfoot, Your Clutch, Blast Tyrant came in. We've already done Greta Van Fleet. Kevin Kubina, we have Your Tom Petty, Live came in, Volumes 1 and 2. Whitney Croy and Chris Crowley. I have you down for a Funkadelic Maggot Brain, and I hadn't done the others in here yet. Okay. Rush is at $41. Did Metal Church get another bid? Let's see. Rush is at $41 with Randy Scarborough, Hemispheres. Metal Church was at $36 with Kevin Huffman. Floyd, who bid 35? Chris DeMoss. Chris DeMoss, you're out unless you've bid again. Chris DeMoss is out. Okay, so Kevin Huffman has Metal Church for 36. Chris DeMoss does want the Metallica Live. Sell that to Chris DeMoss. Joe Gabriel wants AC/DC Razor's Edge. Does Funkadelic happen to be the peach pressing? I don't think so. No, this is just a standard westbound. I'm not for sure what you call that one, but I know the one you're talking about. That's not it. Getting out of control. Brian Sharkey says he's got to tap out. Funkadelic for Brian Sharkey. He says he's done for the night. Randy Scarborough's in on Rush at 43. Ron Phillips is at 44. Have any extra Greta? I do. I've got several Greta Van Fleets available. Rush 42. Joe Valentine also wants a Rush Razor's Edge. Preston, I will put you on a Funkadelic waiting list if that's okay. Let me check the AC/DC bin for Razor's Edge. I don't see one. But let me show these because we just sold an expensive OG. I need to order more Razor's Edge. Man, I can't believe I don't have any more of those. Here is a brand new remastered copy of Back in Black if anybody needs one. They're $29.99. If you want one of these, just put, since we're kind of showing a lot of AC/DC, put Back in Black or Black, whichever one. $29.99. Looks like I got a few copies left in our AC/DC bin. That's a brand new remastered. We just sold, as you know, an original. Okay, lots of stuff going on here. Let me figure this out. Rush 43. Tim Harper, let me know if you want a Greta Van Fleet. Joe Valentine, I'm out of Razor's Edge. Rush is at 45. Preston, I'm out of Funkadelic if you want on the wait list. Rush is at 45 again. Cameron Nance needs to put back Pearl Jam, Aladdin, Las Vegas. Brent Rabley's at 50 on Rush. Chad, did they ever press Robert Plant 9 lives on vinyl? Not that I'm aware of. Rush is at 50. Stephanie Harder wants a Back in Black. So sell that to Stephanie. Tim Harper wants a Greta Van Fleet. Those were in this crate right here. How many of those I got left? I got 5 or 6 left. Sell one of those to Tim Harper. Randy's out on Rush. Let me show the label on that. This is, there's the original sleeve. There's the label, Mercury. Yeah, that Robert Plant album's never been pressed on vinyl. Okay, Kevin Huffman has Metal Church for $36. That's a final call on that one. I think I'm called up. If I've missed something, just let me know. The Cramps, Smell of Female? Is that what that says? Yeah, Cramps. $26.99 on the Cramps. This is a new unofficial from Parachute. I've never had this one before. It's a live Bad Company from Maryland, 1979. Classic Bad Company concert, $36.99. Bad Company, live, 2 LP. That's from Parachute Records, $36.99. Also, so we're about to sell Metal Church. Rush, high bid on that is $50 with Brent Rabley. $50 on Rush Hemispheres. And this is the one that has a little bit of like glue on the back cover. The vinyl, though, is really clean. Has been ultrasonically cleaned. Final call on Rush Hemispheres. So let's go back through that crate. I'll put the AC/DCs actually in here so I can show them again. New vinyl, and then we're about to do a crate of vintage on sale. I still haven't even made my way back to the back room to get our website inventory, so that we're going to do on sale. You got a crate? Tanner's brought me a crate up here. Yes, we'll have to do that at some point. Is that stuff even stickered? I don't know. It may be. I kind of know the prices, but it'll probably have to be something we do on the fly. Pearl Jam. This is a live show from Las Vegas, 1993. Great track listing, $39.99. Wasp, last copy of Galagatha, $36.99 for Wasp. Alice in Chains is $26.99. Deftones covers, $39.99. Pussifer, Existential Reckoning, $36.99. Live AC/DC, we still got 2 of these. I'm pretty sure no one claimed one earlier, so if you thought you claimed one, we didn't get you for one. This is a live concert, Johnson City, Tennessee, 1988, red vinyl. There's a couple people watching right now that I think was at that concert. They said they don't remember it. The Rolling Stones, Let It Bleed, $34.99. Back in Black, $29.99. Twisted Sister, A Twisted Christmas. This is on green vinyl, $28.99. This is a live Tom Petty show. I have sold a lot of these. This is the complete volume. It's 2 of them, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Like Craig says, they sound great even though it's an unofficial. Parachute puts out really good stuff. $31.99. Tom Petty. The Cramps, $26.99. Bad Company is $36.99. I still got both of those. I figured those would sell right away. These auctions are over. Rush Hemispheres, that is sold to Brent Rabley for $50. Metal Church is sold to Kevin Huffman for $36. Those are over. $40 for Waylon. Man, I had quite a bit on that. Luke, I was thinking more like $55. It is a perfect copy in shrink wrap, first press. That's one of those kind of records that, in my opinion, it carries a premium because it's, you know, it's so perfect. There may not even be one active in that hive grade. You know what I mean? All right, this looks like a pretty good crate. Let's go through this one. I'll do some vintage to kind of balance it out. I still got new vinyl I hadn't even put up yet. And we still have the website stuff to get started on. And I was going to try to do, what else? I don't know. I had something else on that agenda I said earlier. Oh, we hadn't even put up a Japanese record yet. That probably won't happen tonight. But we are having another show tomorrow. This is one of those, make me a fair offer and you've bought it. Don't be afraid of the sticker. I'm either going to say yes or no or counter. And Luke, by the way, I've got that Keith Whitley on your invoice for this week too. I don't think we've actually keyed it in yet, but that Keith Whitley, I'll have it on your invoice for this week. Debbie says she has to have a Bad Company. Did I miss the high-end bin? Yeah, that was something else. We were going to do that last night, but we haven't yet. So sell that to Debbie Blair. I will sell you Waylon Jennings for $50. $50. That's my best price. Vintage. Buy it now, best offer. Starship, knee deep in the hoopla. This is a sealed copy, original sealed. This has their hit that some people have mixed feelings about. We built this city. That is sealed, $39.99. Lover Boy, Keep It Up is $19.99. The Best of Jimmy Reed on the VJ label, $39.99. I think my camera's too far away, isn't it? So we had Jimmy Reed, Lover Boy, and Starship. Rare Bird, $34.99. Son of Spirit, $19.99. Buddy Holly, a rock and roll collection, $24.99. Jefferson Starship, Modern Times, $19.99. Thornsfield, we had one of those the other day, $34.99. Rick Springfield, Comic Book Heroes, $19.99. Now I think my camera's too far away. I'm not really looking at my screen. How's that? Is that pretty good? $19.99. 3-window coupe, the Ripcords, is $19.99. Retro Class Entertainment says he will take Starship, sold. Brent Rabley, Jimmy Reed, $30, sold. And let's get 2 new auctions rolling. Let's do Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. We still got plenty of Rush. Let's do these first. This is a copy of Wish You Were Here. Okay, so this is a notorious, I mean, it's a quiet, very quiet record. Columbia, that's why the remasters and represses of this. Anytime I auction a Pink Floyd record, I'm telling most people, if you're into complete sound quality, just buy a new remaster. If you're into the timepiece of a collectible original Pink Floyd record that's an original from 1975, then this is what you want. Now, if you're probably going to listen to one, I recommend you going ahead and just buying a brand new $38.99 remaster if you don't like. You can open one of these up brand new and it's still going to have surface noise. Columbia used noisy, cheaply made vinyl. So did Atlantic. And a lot of these records, you can have near mint copies, and when you play it, it's still going to be noisy. So this record is just so quiet. I tell people you might want to, this is more to me of a collectible. They're always expensive. They're always in demand. Pink Floyd records, we could sell them. I could post this on Facebook tonight. Boom, gone. Tell people it's available in the store. It won't be here by the end of the day. Wish You Were Here. This is an original 75 pressing. This is actually, this pressing, I've got 2 of these tonight. This one has the barcode on the back, so that's not the first press. This was probably later 70s on this one. This album originally came out in 75. This is probably later 70s, early 80s pressing. $35 start on this. The other one I don't have ready to auction tonight, but we've recently got another one in. $35 start. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. The butcher cover will not be sold for quite some time. No, that will be, I will let everybody know when that goes up for auction. I've told everybody it's going to take a minimum 4-digit start to get it started. There'll be somebody definitely interested, I know, but we'll have that soon. This is a 77 repress of Led Zeppelin 2. This is a 5-digit, really clean copy. VG Plus cover, nice vintage copy of Led Zeppelin 2. $25 start. $25 start on Led Zeppelin, $35 start on Pink Floyd. Luke Mitchell said Waylon. So Tanner, write down, actually I may have it right here. We've only been through 1 crate of vintage. Yeah. Sell that to Luke Mitchell for $50. Do you have Test for Echo? No. There's no rare Rush albums tonight. Just all their 70s catalog, 80s, which are already, to me, hard enough to find. But I don't have anything crazy from the 90s. Tom Ulanowski said 12 on the Rip Chords. Sell that to Tom Ulanowski, $12. Let's see. Brent Rabley's at 25 on Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin 25. I'll start the butcher at 1,000. I had a feeling Brandon was interested. He hadn't said anything, but I knew he was interested. I will definitely let everybody know when that's up. I didn't say a $1,000 start. I said a 4-digit start, right? But there's been a lot of people contact us. I think they think it was going to be sold tonight, but it'll be sold at some point. It's going to be a well-advertised sale when we have that. Johnny Rivers Rocks the Folk, $14.99. That's in shrink wrap. These are all buy it now, best offer. Buy it now, best offer. Okay, no bidding tonight on the butcher cover. Johnny Rivers Wild Night is $14.99. The Tubes is $19.99. Pete Townsend, Chinese Eyes, $19.99. Simon Townsend, Sweet Sound, $14.99. The Untouchables, Wild Child, $19.99. Uriah Heep, Sweet Freedom, $24.99 in shrink wrap. Urban Verbs, Early Damage, $14.99. Revolver, Scratch and Dent, $9.99. Fields, this is a reissue, I think, of a pretty obscure psych record, $29.99. Okay, let's get our auctions updated. I think that's some stuff from Pennsylvania. So you can know, I can tell from the sleeves, these are really clean records. Yeah, these records here are extremely clean. Make an offer and you'll probably buy them. Dylan Weishaupt is at 37 on Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Going once, going twice. On Led Zeppelin, we had 25, 25, and that's it. So 25, Joe Gabriel was in first, Brent. So Joe has this for 25, going once, going twice. More questions. There's going to be a break, and did you hit the high-end band? Yes. I doubt we pause tonight. I'll see. We have so much to get through. But if we don't, then it'll just be a continuous stream as normal. But we have not got to the high-end bin yet. Charlie DeFrank, Simon Townsend, $10. Sell that to Charlie DeFrank. Show Felix again. Let's see. Show Felix again. What was Felix? Felix? Or Felix? Let's see here. Fields, maybe. Fields? What was you asking about, Chandler? I'll gladly show it. Brent Rabley's back in at 27. Let's see. Stephanie Harder's at 38 on Pink Floyd. Brent's at 27 on Led Zeppelin. And we have the band, Islands. The band, Islands, $34.99. Fields is $29.99. It's a pilot record reissue. Like I said, I think this is a pretty pricey, rare original. $29.99. That's a 180-gram repress of that. Let's see. Gary Mack and the Mack Truck. Trucked Up, Alive in Concert. That is sealed. $29.99. 10cc Sheet Music. That's in shrink wrap. $19.99. DFX2 Emotion, that is $14.99. Red, White, and Blues Image is $24.99. Romantics National Breakout, $19.99. And Small Creeps Day, Mike Rutherford, $19.99. Willie Nelson Columbus Stockade Blues, $29.99. The Best of Willie Nelson is $24.99. And Willie Nelson Tougher Than Leather, $14.99. Willie Nelson What a Wonderful World, that is sealed, $29.99. The Last Puff Spooky Tooth, featuring Mike Harrison, $19.99. Born in the USA, great records in here. That's near mint, $19.99. And Sparks through, let me read this is $39.99. Let me see what this is. Wow, it's just don't have the artist on there. Here we go. Sparks Through a Shot Glass, Back Talk. Sparks Through a Shot Glass, $39.99. Fred Wink on 10cc. Let me pull that for Fred. 10cc pulled for Fred in case I'll be at 11. Dylan's out on Pink Floyd. Let's do a final call on these two auctions. Brent Rabley's at 27 on Led Zeppelin. That's cheap. Led Zeppelin 2, that kind of breaks my heart. And then Pink Floyd is at 38 with Stephanie Harder. That's going twice, going 3 times. So is Led Zeppelin. Any more Sabbath? Yes, I still got Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage. I've got 2 copies of Sabotage and about 10 Rush albums, Pink Floyd and Queen. Where did I get to in here? How you doing, Tanner? Josh, you doing all right? If y'all need to take a break, go ahead. They're like, we can't. Steely Dan Gaucho, $34.99. Steely Dan Gaucho, MCA Sky Label Pressing. That has a gold stamp promo on it, $34.99. Gabe says USA, $9.99. Born in the USA. I'll do $14.99 on that one. If you want that, Gabe, I'll do $14.99 on that one. Jethro Tull A, $19.99. Elton John, 21 at 33. That's in shrink wrap, $19.99. Steve Jones is $19.99. Steve Jones Mercy. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Trilogy, $19.99. And Spanky and Our Gang's Greatest Hits is $19.99. Gabe says deal. Gabe gets Bruce Springsteen for $14.99. I told Josh he could take a break. He just left. Pink Floyd sold to Stephanie Harder for $38, and Brent Rabley got the deal of the night, in my opinion. A vintage copy of Led Zeppelin 2 for $27. Black Sabbath, we've got Sabotage, and let's do, have we auctioned a copy of Farewell to Kings yet? I don't think we have. Let's do one. Anything new in the high-end bin? Yes, we're going to go through the high-end bin at some point tonight. I hope everybody can stay with us. Elton John sold to Randy. Someone mentioned earlier, Elton John is playing his last concerts ever this weekend at Dodger Stadium. He says he's retiring. I was fortunate enough to see him twice on this tour, one at Bridgestone and one at Nissan Stadium. He's playing his last concert. I think he's doing one tonight at Dodger Stadium. There's a couple of our customers there, Jack Suslack and somebody else messaged me. They sent me some pictures earlier, some of his last concerts. Randy's at gets Elton John for $14.99. How much was Spooky Tooth? Fred said he's just hopping on. $19.99. Has a little bit of cover damage here. The vinyl was extremely nice. Let's see. Way to go, Stephanie. Jared McLaughlin, Steve Jones, $10. Steve Jones, $10. Jared, I will sell that to you for $12. I'll sell that one to you for $12. John Stevens says 12 for Untouchables. First, let's pull Fred Wink's Spooky Tooth out. And let's sell John Stevens Untouchables for 12. Sell that to John Stevens for 12. Okay, next 2 auctions, we have Sabotage. Let me make sure this isn't the one. No, we had one with like a wavy looking cover. Let's take a look at this one. I had a discussion with somebody earlier today. This album is, like most Black Sabbath albums, they were party records. They were trashed. This is got a little bit of ding on the corner. Cover, a little bit of shelf wear, a little bit of ring wear. Has the original sleeve. Vinyl, I'm going to say EX. It has a couple scuffs. It has some of that acidic transfer. $25 start. Black Sabbath Sabotage. $25 start. I think we had another copy last night, one of our bins. It was a pretty much identical condition. I meant to go ahead and pull that one out so we could auction at some point, but this is the only one I have ready for auction tonight. $25 start. Rush, A Farewell to Kings. Let's take a look at this one. Original inner sleeve. I think this is the one that's really nice. It is. This one is really nice. Has a couple of those, like, what I call sleeve scuffs. $25 start on Farewell to Kings. Really nice gatefold here with lyrics. Closer to the Heart. I think it's one of the greatest songs of all time. You can be the captain, I will draw the chart, sailing into destiny, closer to the heart. Now that's poetry, but when these three people put it together, it turns into rock. $25 start on Rush, Farewell to Kings. Back up to the top, we have Randy Scarborough. Yes, you got Elton John. Elton is touring in Europe through at least July of next year. So he's not done. He's done in the United States. He's still touring in Europe. So if you want to go over the pond, you still got a chance to see him if you're not in Dodger Stadium tonight. Steve Jones, this is sold tendered to Jared McLaughlin for $12. Rush 30, Rush 25. Excuse me. Floyd is at 30 on Rush. Brandon Sanders bid 25 on Black Sabbath. Rush 30, Rush 30, Rush 25, Black Sabbath 28. Everything in here is buy it now, best offer. We've already shown Jethro Tull. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, this is a exceptionally nice copy of Trilogy, Near Mint Minus, 1999. Spanking Our Gang's Greatest Hits, Katrina and the Waves, that is sealed, $29.99. The Beatles, featuring Tony Sheridan. I've seen this on a billion different labels, it seems like. This is on an orange Mr. Pickwick label, $24.99, so a UK version. No Goodbyes, Hall & Oates, $19.99 for Hall & Oates. Eric Clapton, Money and Cigarettes, $34.99. The Best of the Sam, the Sham, and the Pharaohs, $19.99. Just a Boy, Leo Sayer, $14.99. Boz Scaggs and Band, $19.99. Grand Funk Railroad, Grand Funk Lives. Floyd is at $35 on Rush. We already had R. Moselle. Elton is playing tomorrow night and Sunday. Tomorrow night. Yeah, Jack was out there. He was like taking a tour of, like, I guess they got up some displays and stuff. Tucky Buzzard is $19.99 in shrink wrap, 10 years after. EX, $17.99. And Squeeze, East Side Story, $24.99. Sparks, Indiscreet, is $44.99 in shrink wrap. Sparks, it's got a clip corner. Stanley Steamer, this is on the Jolly Rogers label, $34.99, 1973 white label promo. Okay, let's get our auctions updated so everybody's on the same page. Brent Rabley just came in at 32 on Black Sabbath. He's the high bidder currently on that. And the high bid on Rush is with Randy Scarborough, $36. Rush, A Farewell to Kings. $36 on Rush, A Farewell to Kings. Ed Nelson says Boz Scaggs, $15. That was Boz Scaggs and Band. Sell that to Ed Nelson for $15. Fred Wink on 10 years after. Sell that to Fred. 35 on Black Sabbath. Tom Ulanowski said he would give 15 for the Beatles. Sell that to Tom for 15. And R. Lozelle's at 40 on the Rush. The Dirt Band, Make a Little Magic, $14.99. I've Got a New Heartache, Webb Pierce, $9.99. Brownie and Sonny, Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry is $34. Excuse me, I had two in my hand. The Appleseed Cast, Perringine, maybe? I'm not for sure. $34.99. And Brownie and Sonny, Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry, $19.99. He played there last night. I was about to say, I know somebody sent me pictures that I opened up accidentally. I accidentally open up messages all the time, and I'm either driving or like posting a pre-order. You know how your notifications come down, and I'm like trying to post pictures and copy and paste, and I'll accidentally open somebody's messages. I'll glance at them. I'm like, okay, I'll reply to them. and then I forget, and then 2 hours later they send me a bunch of question marks, and I'm like, dang it. I accidentally opened their message. Because I try to sit down at night and do it all at once. So I knew somebody sent me pictures of that concert. So Brent Rabley's at 40 on Black Sabbath. Charlie DeFrank said he would give 10 on Tucky Buzzard. Go ahead and sell that to Charlie DeFrank for 10. Katrina and the Waves, $9.99, Jeff McMaster. Jeff, that was a sealed copy. I'll need a little bit more than that for it, but if you want that, I'll sell that to you for $15. Debbie Blair's at 40 on Rush. Arm Lozelle was at 40. Debbie's at 42. Brent's at 40 on Black Sabbath. Donovan P. Leach. Donovan is $19.99. Dreamin', I think this is a compilation. It is $14.99. Samantha Singh, Dan Hill, Gladys Knight, David Soul, Roberta Flack, Paul Anka. That is $14.99. Martin Luther King Jr., $24.99. That's like a Xerox promotional, type deal. Joe Cocker, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, VG copy, $14.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer is VG, $9.99. Jerry Lee Lewis, $9.99. That's in shrink wrap. The Incredible Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, $9.99. The Lonely Bull, Herb Albert, $19.99. Down Home Boy, Jerry Williams Group, $14.99. The Best of Newport, New York, Volume 1. We had Volume 2 earlier. That is $14.99. JFK is $19.99. The Complete Tom Paxton is $19.99. Europa Jazz is $14.99. Mary Lou Williams is $19.99. And Chet Atkins Workshop, $14.99. All right, let's get caught up here. Rush, 44. Black Sabbath, 44. Retro says, I'll take Katrina. Jeff said sold. This Katrina and the Waves goes to Jeff McMaster for $15. Arm Lozelle is at 45 on Rush. Brent says he's out on Black Sabbath. So Black Sabbath was at 44, going once, going twice. Fred Wink said he would give 15 on the Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I think that was this copy of Trilogy I was talking about. Sell that to Fred Wink. Stacy said she would give $10 for the Dreamin' comp. Sell that to Stacy for $10. Marco V, you were second. Debbie's at 46 on Rush. Jeff said he would give $9.99 for Chet. Sell that to Jeff. So Rush, Debbie Blair has that for $46. He says not Trilogy. Was there another Emerson, Lake and Palmer in here maybe? This one. Okay, I forgot I showed that one. Let me swap that one out, Tanner. That one right there. So Trilogy is still available if anybody wants it. I will take 15 for it. $19.99 a sticker. Rush is at 50. Tom Ulanowski said he would give 8 for Joe Cocker. That's a VG copy. I'll go ahead and sell that to Tom for $8. Final call on Black Sabbath. Looks like we're still bidding on Rush. Brandon has that for $44. Sabotage, $44. Going twice, going 3 times to Brandon. Rush is now at $50 to Arm Lozelle. I'm going to read through these titles one more time. If you want to see any prices or make any offers, feel free to. It's pretty good stuff. A lot of this is from that Pennsylvania collection. Very well taken care of, Near Mint Records. Lover Boy, Rare Bird, Spirit, Buddy Holly, Jefferson Starship, Thorns Field, Rick Springfield, Johnny Rivers, Tubes, Pete Townsend, Uriah Heep, Urban Verbs, Revolver, which is Scratch and Dent, Fields, The Band, that is Gary Mack and the Mack Truck, DFX2, Blues Image, Sparks Through a Shot Glass, Back Talk, Romantics, National Breakout, Mike Rutherford, Small Creek Stay, Willie Nelson, Best of Willie Nelson, Steely Dan Gaucho, and Jethro Tull A. Debbie Blair's at 51 on Rush. Fred said he would give 8 for Spirit. Greg Waite said 8 on this. Fred, I'll sell this to you for, well, that's nice. I'll sell that to you for $12. Spirit, Son of Spirit. Greg Waite says Rick Springfield 8. Let me see what I had on that one. Same thing, Greg. I'll sell that to you for 12, 12, and 12. Ed Nelson 15 on the Tubes. Sell that to Ed Nelson for 15. Blues Image 8. Whoa, we're really far apart on that one. Let's see. This one's like, I'll say this one for 20. That's really nice. Rush is at 55. Fred said sold, and so that was for Spirit, $12. That's that right there. Gaucho was $34.99. Greg passes on Rick Springfield at 12. So Comic Book Heroes was 12 if anybody wants that one. 20 on Blues Image. I'll wait for him to decide that. Let me go ahead and sell Black Sabbath to Brandon Sanders for $45,000. No, my bad, $44. Sell that to Brandon Sanders for $44, Tanner. We have Rush out on Rush. Let RM have it. Arm Lozelle, you have Rush, A Farewell to Kings for $55. That is going twice, going 3 times to him. This does not have Captain Ride on it. No, that's not on that one. $5 for my cousin. Yeah, Gaucho's a Gold Stamp promo, MCA Sky label. Cousin. What was that? My cousin? I'm not for sure what that was, Carol. Maybe you can. Spanking our gang's greatest hits. Hall & Oates. Eric Clapton. Sam the Sham and the Pharaoh. Steve said 27 Gaucho. That is sold. Let me find that. Usually don't have Steely Dan albums laying around too long. I'm hoping they'll do standard reissues of the rest of their catalog, but right now there's no announcements. You know, they did Can't Buy a Thrill. We still have those in stock if anybody wants one. Almost impossible for us to keep that one in stock. Originals, that is. Leo Sayer, Grand Funk Railroad, Squeeze, Sparks, Stanley Steamer, Dirt Band, Webb Pierce, Appleseed Cast, Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry, Donovan, Martin Luther King Jr., Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jerry Lee Lewis, Gary Puckett, Herb Albert, Jerry Williams Group, Newport, New York, JFK, Tom Paxton, Europa Jazz, and Mary Lou Williams. Rush, A Farewell to Kings, is sold to Arm Lozelle for $56. $56. Fred says Donovan, $10. I'll go ahead and sell that for $10. $5 for my cousin. Well, I'm going to go back through one more time. Squeeze, Grand Funk, Sayer, Sam, Spanky, Willie. I'm looking for anything with the word cousin on it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what she's saying. Gary Puckett. Gary Puckett, cousin. Maybe her autocorrect is off or something. So, is that what this is? Okay. Let's go ahead and sell that to her for $5. And there's Blues Image if anybody wants that for $20. Red, white, and Blues Image. She may be using voice to text. $55, but I'll donate $1 to Coletco. Okay, my bad. I'm a he. Sorry, Carol. I do that all the time. Carol is a he. Sorry. I've got you down for Gary Puckett for $5. I apologize. I called Cameron Nance a she for 2 years, I think, before he said anything. Alrighty. Yeah, that red crate is all pre-sold. And this is the last crate of new vinyl. What happened? Owls lost, Tigers lost. Sports, football is over in Smith County, unfortunately. I was hoping they'd both win. It had probably never, both of our local, not here in Wilson County, but far as Smith County teams, football, Gornville and Smith County. I call them Carthage, but they're known as Smith County. Been a long time since both of them had went this far in the playoffs, and if they had both won tonight, it'd probably been the first time ever both of them had made it to the semifinals. They unfortunately both lost tonight. So high school football over that I'm interested in is done for the year. Now, if y'all want to see me on the edge tomorrow night, I'm going to try to have a live show while the Tennessee football game's going on. I'm actually going to try to, and that's pending. We may not have one. I was going to try to do a lot tonight. But if we do have one tomorrow, y'all might see me on the edge trying to watch a football game and sell records. Y'all might see me like yell and get frustrated and stuff that's out of character for me. But that's only when I watch football. Okay, no, I'm a he, but I was messing with you. He? Now I'm confused. New vinyl that I've never shown before tonight. Pearl Jam Under the Covers. I had a waiting list for this. This is a 2LP Pearl Jam covers album on blue vinyl. Pearl Jam covers. Who was on the wait list for this? Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore. I have you down for that. I need to put up some new auctions. This is blue vinyl. Pearl Jam Under the Covers. The songs I didn't write. $39.99. I've sold a bunch of those. Anything Pearl Jam people usually tend to like. Let me grab some new auctions. I've got a... Let's see here. Is any of these Rush? We haven't. Okay, we hadn't done this one yet. We hadn't done. Yeah, I've got 3 here we haven't sold, and I've got Queen here. Okay. He was bidding on his cousin Gary Puckett. Oh, I understand what's going on now. $5 for my cousin. Is that really your cousin? Yeah. There's a lot of Pucketts out there. This is Rush Subdivisions, and this one is a truly near mint minus record. Rush, the name of the album is Signals. Definitely the hit song. I was in JCPenney's. I was in 2-3 years ago. I walked in, they was playing Subdivisions, and I was like, I'm definitely buying something today. Original inner sleeve, ultrasonically clean vinyl. The cover is about a VG plus. It has, has some sticker residue, a little bit of minor shelf wear, not a pristine cover. The vinyl is really nice though. $25 start for Rush Signals. Analog Kid. I like that album. Some people don't put that on the top of their Rush list. I like that one. How about a superb OG copy of Queen News of the World? I left this mark up here so I could show it. It has one little non-feeler, non-audible mark here. Has the original inner sleeve with the die-cut circle for the label with all the lyrics. This has We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. Really nice cover. If y'all have never seen the gatefold of this, I hope that you have. But, of course, the artwork on this thing is just absolutely... I think this is one of the best gatefolds. This and Led Zeppelin 4. I mean, just awesome. Of course, this is an original... that was an original cover to a science fiction novel, like one of those trade paperback science fiction books. And they kind of took it and put in, the members of Queen there. Really nice copy of this for a $25 start. So, Rush 40, Rush 45, Gary Puckett and Union Gap. Wasn't that the name of it? Yes. Rush 30 contains the greatest Rush tune ever, Subdivision. That's right. Those keyboards fire up. Man, makes me want to go listen to it. Queen, The Miracle, $39.99. I wish we could play music, don't you, Tanner? Queen, The Miracle, $39.99. Another half-speed master. This one is a difficult album to get in their catalog. New, old, vintage. Imagine having one of those signed. That would be pretty cool. Queen is $39.99. We have Wasp, Live in the Raw, $46.99. I had a waiting list for that. Several people. 2 people. Bill Fratsky and Steve Howe. I've already got you down for one. I have one left. This is Wasp, Live in the Raw, $46.99. $46.99. I saw these were back available, and I grabbed them because I sold... one night, we randomly went through our soundtrack bin, and I had 2 left, and I was going to keep one. This is the Austin Powers and Goldmember soundtrack on gold vinyl, and this is $26.99. This is like another childhood movie for me. I remember watching it. When did this come out? 2002? Yeah, we got it I think we rented it on DVD. Hopefully, I know everybody on here watching remembers that. I remember going out and picking DVDs to rent at the local video store. That was part of my childhood. And then I was like, can we please buy that? That was the funniest. And of course, it's spy related. It's a James Bond spoof, so I obviously liked it for that. That is $26.99. That's on gold vinyl. It's got some pretty good songs on it, too. Rolling Stones, Miss You. It has some remixes and Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, $26.99. Lady Gaga, The Fame, $36.99. Guns N' Roses, Anarchy in the UK, red vinyl, $39.99. What's the Clapton? I hadn't shown a Clapton in quite some time. Wasp, The Last Command, $39.99. America, Heritage 2, Demos and Alternative Takes, 1971 to 1976. That is $36.99 for America. Ozzy Osbourne, Memoirs of a Madman. This is a 2LP greatest hits black vinyl of Ozzy. I say black vinyl because they did do a picture disc of this. I think if you're into sound quality, this would be the better pick. And I did have somebody, Whitney Croy. Whitney Croy, I've already got you down for one of those. $39.99 on Ozzy, Memoirs of a Madman. Nirvana, California Live, 1991 on colored vinyl. That's a live Nirvana unofficial from, it says, just California, December 28th, 1991. $26.99. Metallica, Master of Puppets Remaster. This is kind of like Megadeth. Anytime I see these in stock, I buy them. One of the best sellers now here in our store because of Stranger Things. And a Live Rush unofficial. This is a live show from 1981. We have 2 Live Rush concerts in here. I think one of them's on white vinyl and one of them's on blue vinyl. They're for sure colored vinyl. That is $39.99. Update on our auctions. Ed Nelson is at $35 on Queen. OG copy, super nice cover, original ear sleeve, ultrasonically clean. I'm going to call it near mint minus vinyl. $35 start on that. And we have Rush Signals. Rush Signals is at $51 with Debbie Blair. $51 for Rush Signals. Tim Harper says, Ozzy, if you got another one, I've got another one. Sell Tim Harper Ozzy. Derek Bowman wants Spirit of the Airwaves. That's a live Rush unofficial concert. 2 more copies of The Breakfast Club. Donnie Moore, I had you on a waiting list for this, so I've stocked yours. I've got 2 left, featuring the hit song, Don't You Forget About Me, Simple Minds. I was pumping gas like at about 4 a.m. this morning on my way home, and that was later than that. But anyway, the gas station locally, they blast music 24/7, and it's like great. It's like Sirius XM, like something. That song came on. I was like, wow, what a great song. Queen, self-titled, Half-Speed Master, $31.99. So we're slowly getting in. News of the World comes out next, I think, next week. That's their self-titled first album, $31.99. They've kind of changed the cover. It's a different cover here. It's different colors. It's almost purple instead of reddish. Wasp, I Want to Be Somebody picture disc. That is $34.99. I got a lot of singles here. These are all just like single reissues and restocks. Prodigy, Their Law, the singles, that is $33.99. Wings Greatest Hits is $33.99. I've sold a ton of these. The Bob Seger System, Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, $33.99. And Pussifer, V is for Viagra, their remixes, $31.99. Okay, update on Rush, no other bids. Debbie has this for $51. Final call. I'm about to sell it to Debbie. Queen, we had a $35 bid. Cuda Bryan bid $37. Stacy is back in at $40. Stacy Brown has that for $40. Fred Wink gets the Pussifer. I've got Carole King in concert live at the BBC. Carole King in concert live at the BBC, 1971, $26.99. This was originally a record store day. Carole King live. Is James Taylor on here? Yeah, I think he may. I Feel the Earth Move. You Make Me Feel It's Too Late. She's doing a lot of stuff from Tapestry. If there's any guitar tracks on that, I have a feeling James Taylor was there in the room with her. It doesn't say it on the hype sticker. Right, yeah. Josh was just saying this is on YouTube. There's some footage of James Taylor too, and she's in the back playing the piano. So I think that was kind of all one day type recording there. $26.99 on that. Okay, Fred Wink got Pussifer. Stacy Brown wants a Wings. Stacy Brown gets the Wings. Ed Nelson was first to the Bob Seger. Ed Nelson on Bob Seger. Fred Wink on the Carole King. We found out we could get some record store day stuff that's like old stock So if anybody else wants one of these, let me know. But this was originally Record Store Day. Some of this stuff, I was like, well, if no one buys it, I'll keep it eventually. But, usually stuff sells. But I'm probably going to get a couple more of these if anybody wants one. That's sold to Fred. Jerry Stone, if you're okay with it, I'll put you on the Bob Seger waiting list. Here's the other Rush. This is the first American broadcast. ABC, 1974. This is the Agora Ballroom, Cleveland, Ohio, 1974. 2LP Live Rush, $39.99. Okay. I think we can sell Debbie Rush signals for $51. That is now sold to Debbie. And let's do the final call on Queen at $40 with Stacy Brown. I think we're done on that one. John Stevens says he'll take a Prodigy. John Stevens says he'll take a Prodigy. And I think Debbie says she wants this Rush as well. Sell that to Debbie Blair. Jerry Stone says he's okay with Bob Seger System waiting list. Whiskey Myers Mud, $26.99. The Colt, pure singles, $36.99. This is like a Colt, the Colt, greatest hits. I had a couple people waiting on this one. No, that was electric. Colt singles. Matt Algram and Robert Johnson. These came back in. $36.99 for pure Colt, the singles, $84.95. 2LP. Charlie DeFrank is in on Queen at $41. Who was bidding? I was just about to sell that. Stacy Brown, you're out. Charlie has that for $41 now. I had been sold out of these for a while, and I was like, man, I got to keep King Crimson in stock because people always come in and they're like, do you have this album? It's an amazing album. You've got to kind of be into prog rock to like it, but this is the desirable limited edition 200 gram, the Steven Wilson Robert Fripp stereo mix. $33.99 on that new and sealed gatefold, 200 gram, and this very intimate, very well recorded Neil Young at Carnegie Hall, 2LP, $39.99. Look at some of these tracks. Down by the River, Cinnamon Girl, The Loner. I like that song. Helpless, Southern Man, Sugar Mountain, Only Love Can Break Your Heart. Old Man, Cowgirl in the Sand, Ohio. It's a fantastic concert. Stacy Brown takes a Mud. Stacy, let me know if you're in or out on Queen. And Debbie says, I'm out of here for the rest of the night and week. Goodbye. I've got to go. Kevin Huffman takes King Crimson. Sell that to Kevin Huffman. Make a note. I need to order more of those. I'm going to try to probably keep 2 or 3 in the bins at all time. Last call on anything in here. I'm going to flip through it. Final call on Queen. Charlie DeFrank may have snuck in here and bought this. Stacy says she's out. Charlie, final call to you for $41. That's a nice copy. Let's go through these one more time. Let's go ahead and take a break. I feel like I need some energy. I really don't want to stop, but I will post and let everybody know that we're going to come back. I've got so much more to go through. We hadn't even touched the on sale stuff yet. So one more time. Pearl Jam, Under the Covers, $39.99. Price and quality on Neil. Neil Young was $39.99. It's a 2LP. It's one of the best sounding Neil Young concerts I've ever heard. Pearl Jam, this is a covers album, blue vinyl, $39.99. Queen was $39.99. The Miracle, you won't have luck with one of these. High-end bin next half. Yes, part 2, I don't want everybody to hop off and miss this. Part 2 will be high-end bin, more vintage on sale, the website clearance stuff we hadn't done, and we'll try to do a quick recap of all the new vinyl from tonight, which we've sold it all. After I condense it down, it will just be 2 crates left because most of it's gone. And, of course, Cherry Pie. I'll show that one more time. Carol Puckett was first asked about Neil Young. Stephanie, if you want one, Carol's taking this one. I will put you on a waiting list. I still need to order. Y'all know I don't like stocking a lot of new vinyl, but I'm afraid if I order 5, then we'll have 3 for the next year. But I've been selling these one at a time. Stephanie, I'm going to order 2. 1 more for the store and 1 more for you, if that's okay. They'll be in next week. William Simmons wants the Pearl Jam. Sell that to William Simmons. That's a good decision. Stephanie Harder on the Neil Young Carnegie Hall waiting list. Wasp, last copy, Live in the Raw, $46.99. I didn't convince anybody to get a Gold Member soundtrack. I've sold a bunch of these. I've had this in stock off and on here in the store now for a few years. $26.99. Lady Gaga, The Fame, that goes way up when that goes out of stock. That has her hit Poker Face on it, $36.99. Live Guns N' Roses, I've sold a lot of these. Red vinyl, this is a live show from 1987. Red vinyl, Parachute Records. Wasp, The Last Command, $39.99. America, I'm kind of interested in this. I may open this up and listen to it. Heritage 2, $26.99. And we have Nirvana, $26.99. Metallica is $29.99. Metallica is $29.99. 2 copies of The Breakfast Club is $33.99. Queen is $31.99. Wasp is $34.99. And The Cult is $36.99. Queen is sold. Queen is sold to Charlie DeFrank for $41. Charlie, that's yours. I have more Queen to auction in part 2, I think. Yes, auctions. That's another thing I left off. So, high-end, new vinyl on sale, new vinyl recap, vintage on sale, and auctions. I still got Rush albums, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and Pink Floyd. How are we ever going to do all that by midnight? I don't know. We'll be back a few minutes after 10 o'clock. It's 9:35 right now. It's 9:36. We will start this stream back in exactly 30 minutes. In exactly 30 minutes. About 10:06 Central Time. What exactly is high end? That is a crate we keep behind the counter of everything that is $50 and up. We got a few records in there that are $500. We got a ton of records that are probably about $100. So we usually go through it and I start making deals. And we clean it out. Okay, I'll be back in 30 minutes.